Heard you call
That is the
my
planet.
name.
7 things are in view.
While I'm passing by.
You need to ship more comics, and we can watch your baby.
The mistake I've made, it can't be turned around.
Here, take this Dixon man with you. Hi.
I took the easy way out. I took the easy way out. I took the easy way out. I went one for one before casting out the mistake I've made. You can't be turned around. Heard you call my name while I'm passing out. The mistake I've made, it can't be turned around. I took the easy way out. I took the easy way out. I took the easy way out.
Everybody shout! Heavy metal's bad! Down to all but metal! Down to all but metal! Down to all but metal! Get the Papa Roach! Blade 182! All this fucking pussy sound like Doggy 2! Wearing baggy pants, backing up the hair! They're not worth the crust on my underwear!
Good evening. Hello, it's me, Ethan. Yeah, it's 2:30. And I got to stream at some point. I got to do live streams. This week is kind of like, not a great week to do live streams for me at normal hours. So you guys are going to have to bear with me. A lot of people are watching these streams, though, like, when they wake up, they're watching the replay, the VOD, video on demand, advanced Skyver on demand. A lot of people are watching it that way, and that works. I just need to make content for you guys, make sure that you guys are entertained, give you guys the trash cast, and keep taking out the garbage whenever I can. Doesn't matter what time I do it. It just matters that it gets done. I'm Ethan Van Skyver, 33-year veteran of the comic book industry, world's most charming, disarming, elegant, eloquent, and yet humble man. Humble man. Yeah, got my voice back. Everything's good. Feeling okay. I still got a little bit of a, like a cough back there that won't quite clear, but it doesn't matter. I can sing. It's great, isn't it? So this is fantastic. I'm walking around the house singing and feeling pretty joyous. What do you mean super gay? How is that super gay to sing? Men sing. That's what they do. Men sing, they wear frilly tutus, and they dance around. Don't we all do pirouettes and mince through our houses, drinking diet, iced edition Red Bulls? I'm pretty sure. You can't sing, says the wise man. No, I can. You weren't listening. I can sing. Didn't you hear that? Like, I literally can sing. Great to be with you guys. Like I said, what a pleasure. I sent Shane Davis the link. A lot of people are concerned about Shane Davis and whether or not he'll be here tonight. Maybe he will. Maybe he won't. I think now that his book is funded, I think what a tremendous success. Something like $330,000 for ISOM. For Inglorious Rex. We're going to get to the ISOM shit. To Inglorious Rex number 3. So shout out to Shane and shout out to you guys for making that happen. That is wonderful. Meanwhile, over in ComicsGate Drama Land, this is like my favorite Twitter user. I go and why is Mormon happening? What's happening? Mormonism. Time for you to join up. Shane is still miserable, says Xeno4XL. Well, give him even more money. Maybe he doesn't have enough money. We got to give him more. Look at this. Jedi Knight of the Tifa call. EVS, Ethan Ralph has become more relevant than you by going after Jer. You're rehashing stuff that nobody cares about. Yeah, Jeremy the Quartering. I see you everywhere, Jedi Knight, talking about the quartering and saying, hey, Ethan, hey, go after the quartering. There's a new video of Anna, that Star Wars girl that was clipped out by Katie Did. You guys are going after Anna and bothering her in her chat and going, why aren't you making quartering content? I recognize, Jedi Knight of the Tifa cult, that all you guys are trying to take down the quartering. Hold on, let me get sincere for a minute here. I recognize. Wait, how do I get rid of this? Oh yeah, I just press this button here. Then it's gone, and then it's me filling up the screen again, which is what you need. I recognize that there is an effort, a concerted effort, to kick Jeremy the Quartering into the ground, okay? The entire internet wants to do that. They want to take him down. They want to take him out. And where do I stand on that? First of all, Relevancy on the internet is not something that I give one shit about. If I did, I'd be covering everything that was popular. All of the popular topics. I would have followed Star Wars 9 when Yellow Flash was sitting there saying, "Why, Ethan, it's a bonanza of cash. Why aren't you talking about Star Wars anymore?" Because people like you are talking about Star Wars and talking about a bonanza of cash. I just don't, my heart is not in it. My heart is not in talking about things that I don't care about. I think that era of YouTuber should come to an end, which is why I support people going after the quartering and kicking him into the dirt, because he defines that era of YouTuber. People who talk about things that they are not passionate about, don't give a shit about, just for money. I am not that person at all. I've never been. I talk about things that I want to talk about. And people either listen to me or they don't. You know, sometimes they listen to me, sometimes they don't. But for the most part, I'm not going to become the quartering or become Yellow Flash by discussing the hot topic of the day, just because there are people who are like, there's relevancy on the internet, there's clout on the internet to be had. I've said it before, and I've received some criticism for saying this. My clout is baked in. Baked. That sounds good. Baked clout sounds delicious. I don't need internet clout. I don't need to chase down the quartering, who at the moment has done nothing to me. I mean, yeah, in the past, the quartering has talked some shit about me and caused me a few little moments of aggravation. And I will say this: if you recall, if memory serves you correctly, you will recall and remember and take note that I went after the quartering when he was powerful, when nobody else would, when everybody was afraid of him. I talked shit to his face. I said, "Talk to me right here, quartering," and he said, "No, no, no," and he ran away from me 3 or 4 times, in fact. I am not going to join a dog pile of any sort. And when the internet finally turns on Eric July and starts kicking him into the dirt, which he deserves, that's when I'm going to stop. Okay, that's when I'm going to back off. I'm going to be like, I'm not doing this. This is the cool thing now. So rehashing things that nobody cares about, well, then nobody will watch. But watch Jedi Knight of the Tifa Cult. I'll bet you they do. I'll bet you they do watch. And here's Star Wars Like a Rob. I'll listen and work, but here's some support. Oh, thanks for $10. By the way, people really enjoyed my EFAP of the Elasmat documentary. I got so much happiness from you guys over that. And maybe it was just because I was doing TRASHCAST. But, you know, it's like, it was so good to see the TRASHCAST title. Oh, he's sweeping for snowmen now? Lol. Listen. Yeah, was I clear about that? Like, did I make that clear? Or should I, like, re-speak it into, should I reshape my words? I don't join dog piles. I don't do that. I am the single dog fighting a fight when everybody else is pushing out, back against me. That's who I am. That's who I've always been. Quartering is going to get taken down to some degree. He's going to receive a little mundane Matt treatment. Even mundane Matt, by the way, is kind of circling the bases on him, which is the gayest shit I've ever seen. That people are tolerating mundane Matt sitting there enjoying a little fucking, you did this first, you started this pussy shit. You should not be the guy who's sitting there going, "See, quartering, maybe you should just take a little time off the internet." I'm not doing that. I'm not joining that. Okay. I'm just not. Those guys can do it. I broadly support their taking down the quartering. I don't really care why. He is a big goofball. He's a big dummy. We've known him since forever. He's been in and around ComicsGate since 2018, since I started this. Used to be on the show all the time, and gave me valuable advice, YouTuber advice that I ignored. You would kill everyone if you jumped on a dog pile, EVS. We do too. That's why I'm not going to do it. I'm not out to hurt nobody. Are you not drawing comics anymore? Says Drop of the Cup. I have not been able to draw for like an entire week. What I have on my desk over there is the double page spread from Cyberfrog 3 that I started drawing with you guys. And I told you guys I don't really draw off camera anymore. I have not been able to draw. This week is Ava's play week, and I have been preoccupied. And then also on top of that, I've had the flu. So if I'm not shuttling Ava back and forth, sitting in a tiny chair and watching her performance, she was great tonight. She was, or last night. Okay. She was great. The second performance, I said to her in the car, and you never really know if like Ava's listening, but I said, when you're on stage, I know this is uncomfortable for you. When you're on stage, you need to smile like daddy is smiling. Like this. You need to smile, show teeth, and you need to smile really broadly. When you're doing your little dances and, you know, all that stuff, there needs to be a smile on your face, because otherwise you're like this. That's Ava's normal demeanor. So you need to smile. Ava has autism, you know, so she doesn't really know that she's supposed to be smiling. So I told her that, and she got out on the stage today dressed like a cheerleader, and she was like, all her teachers came, by the way, all of her teachers. She's got like 8 teachers. I live in the best town for kids with autism, because Ava, like, there are 5 kids in Ava's class, and they have like 6 teachers teaching those 5 kids. Like, and one woman came up to me and she said, you know, I'm Ava's physical therapy. Is it physical therapy? I think some kids have trouble moving, you know, with or whatever, moving properly. She said, we don't, like, I've been released. Ava doesn't need to see me anymore. And I said, that is magnificent. I got hugs from all these women, you know, and they were telling me how much they loved Ava. But she was great. She enjoyed it. She enjoyed doing the show. She kicked ass. She got a little bouquet afterwards. Anyway, that's been my week. I've got 2 more performances. Ava's performing Saturday and Sunday. Tonight is a night off, which is a relief. Yeah, it's been a tough week. Being sick, play practice has not led to many draw streams, but I'm excited. I did do a little bit of drawing. I did do a little bit of work on that 2-page spread off camera. I feel like I cheated a bit, but it's okay. We're gonna get right back to it, and hopefully today, I think I'm feeling good. I think I'm all right. Ethan pushed their boobs into women pushed their boobs into Ethan's fatness as execution. Yeah, they did. It was nice. It was very nice. Chat loves trains. Yeah, everybody in the chat is probably autistic too. Fenrir Howell says, I'm not sure if I'm retarded, gifted, or autistic. You might be all 3. So good stuff, folks. Good stuff. All right. So anyway, let's get back to the quartering. Are we clear? I mean, do you want me to talk about it? Everybody's talking about it. I'm in Britney Venty's video. I decided, I was like, I don't know everything that's going on with the quartering. So hold on a second. Let me bring this up. Let me pull this shit up. Britney Venty put me in her video. And it's funny because, like, I'm just there to learn about the quartering, and I don't really feel like I have much of an identity around these people. But because I think Alyssa clips me a lot, let me see here. I get recognized to some degree. All right, hold on a second. So I'm just watching this because I'm trying to learn, like, what's going on with the quartering. Britney Venty is going to make the mean video that I want to see. I'm not a huge fan of Britney Venty. I had a fight with her once because she was picking on Alex Stein, I think. And I said, shut up, Britney. We like Alex Stein around here. So that was it. That was the only contact I've ever really had with Britney. That was on one of that Star Wars girl shows. But I'm watching this, and all of a sudden, it's really strange when you're watching somebody else's video, and it's by a big YouTuber who's been around forever, and suddenly you hear your own voice. I swear to God, it's like watching a horror movie, and suddenly the monster turns and looks at you and says, hey, asshole, you're next. To you, and he says your name.
Critics, because Jeremy set the precedent that it's okay to do so.
Why would he flag me? Don't flag me. Flag the Kino Casino guys.
Quartering gets...
That's a clip from this very show. You guys go, the quartering's going to flag you, Ethan. And I go, why would he flag me? Don't flag me. Flag the Kino Casino guys. Now, to somebody who doesn't understand my sense of humor, that might be seen as me being like literal saying, go flag them. Like literally go flag them. No. I was just kidding. I was just kidding. It was just a joke. Hold on. You broke her chair. I didn't break her chair. I'm in this fucking documentary by Britney Venty. I'm in this video. Don't flag me. Go flag the Kino Casino guys, I said. Which is, to me, it's like one of these jokes where, like I said, I made a little quick video and I posted it on Twitter real quick. I was like, I was kidding. It's like Jeremy's going to flag you And I go, what? Don't flag me. Flag them. Flag the Keno Casino guys. It's like if a criminal is, holding a gun to your head and, you go, you're going to shoot me? Don't shoot me. Shoot them. Shoot this person. It's a kind of a cowardly sort of joke from a movie. Yeah, very serious. I'm sure that everybody watched me say that and went over and flagged the Keno Casino. But I was being used as an example of Jeremy's fans, I guess, who are being told, instructed, or are instructing others to false flag Keno Casino, which is, which I was like, when I saw that, I almost fell out of my chair laughing. I thought that was great. That was hilarious. But no, obviously, I'm against false flagging. Of course, I got false flagged and then lied about by the puppeteer not too long ago. I guess this was like 3 or 4 months ago when, I was showing the puppet shows that a Rippaverse guy whose name is Andy, whatever. What's his last name? Andy Dandy. I don't know. But he was, I bought all these puppet shows from him. I played one and he sent me a nice copyright strike. He copyright struck my channel. That's called false flagging. And then he denied that he did it. He said it was automated. It wasn't automated. He had to do it by hand. Everybody agrees. He lied about it. There was a little bit of a pushback against him, but not like this. Not like this. Quartering is able to take people's entire channels down. All I got was the channel strike warning, which you get. You get like a warning, and then you get 3 strikes. So that's basically 4 strikes. And then that warning came down. I had a puppet show guy redact it after he received some pushback and denied that he did it in the first place. So obviously, I am against the false flagging. Now, here's ComicsGate drama. Now, because of the renewed attention on the Dungeoneers and the fact that PTP has got a new campaign, people talk about this and say, like, it's probably because they're acting like this, probably because they have a new campaign. No, I act like this. I have old campaigns, and I'm still acting like this. This is Rainbow the Brute. And by the way, Rainbow the Brute still getting backers, mostly because they see me. You guys are actually seeing me put pages together, and you're realizing that it's a great, great fucking book. If you haven't backed Rainbow the Brute yet, add your name to the list. Go back Rainbow the Brute. Get yourself a copy of Rainbow the Brute, and then also get yourself a copy of My Girthy Stallion. Those are 2 books in this campaign that you need. Cool Story Bro, you should get too as well. Get that as well. That's got some great stuff in it. There's even a story by Chuck fucking Dixon in there. We got a Chuck Dixon story that I paid for some reason. So we got that in there. Get Rainbow the Brute. And then also Cyberfrog 3 Red Extermination, which our boy Lasmat kind of glibly. By the way, somebody pointed out to me, they go, I used the word glib in a post. Like I tweeted out something about, and I said, this person's acting kind of glib. And when Lasmat read my tweet on the video, he pronounced it gilb. And I just wasn't even listening, but he pronounced it gilb like a retard. Anyway, Lasmat glibly overlooked. He gilbily overlooked Cyberfrog 3's funding of nearly $90,000. Incredible. We're this close to $1 million. And we will get there for this campaign too. Either on this campaign itself or like when Red Extermination is finished, we'll run a quick repeat campaign, a quick last chance, and we will pick up that extra $100,000 or whatever it takes. We're going to get this thing to 1 million too. It only matters what's in the history books. History books. Cyberfrog 1, $1 million. Cyberfrog 2, $1 million. Cyberfrog 3, also $1 million. There's no big decline in any way, in any measurable way, for the big Cyberfrog titles. Now, the smaller books, when I put out a smaller campaign, it raises 6 figures fairly easily, 6 figures and change. And it has consistently, with the exception of Rainbow the Brute, which is up way over $500,000 because of you guys. So thanks for that. Very excited about putting this stuff together. Very excited about getting it out to you guys. Very excited. Yes, it's very malicious. He sounds gullible. He is gullible. Or no, he's gillable. Gillable. Thank you. All right. So anyway, because of this and the fact that PTP has a new campaign called the Book of Enoch. And by the way, let me just point this out as well. He had 27 backers. When I talked about this yesterday, in the last Trashcast, I said, he's got 20 with this. No, 28. 28 people. These people are talking to us and telling us that because the Dungeoneers exited themselves from ComicsGate, it's a great big sacrifice for all of us. We've lost this enormous chunk of wealthy backers. And I haven't seen evidence of that. All these people left ComicsGate. They left your audience. They left backing books. And they followed the Dungeoneers. And I mean, facts not in evidence. I'm waiting to see hundreds and hundreds of people backing, Patrick Parnell that are not backing me or Shane. So far, his new book with artwork from Sergio Cariella. Poor guy. I can't believe Sergio signed up for this. I guess it's a paycheck, right? Like he's expecting to get paid for this if the book funds. But PTP set a $60,000 goal. The first 48 hours, I think 72 hours. I don't even know how far we are into this at this point, but we're more than 72 hours in. That's the funding period where you should get, in that amount of time, you should get about 1/3 of your final total within that first 72 hours. And we're looking at $1,256 with 29 backers. We can expect this campaign to arrive at about $3,500, $3,600 with maybe a total. I mean, if he's lucky, a total of 100 backers, but I'd be surprised by that. I'd be really surprised to see 100 backers turn out for this. So it's another flop, another book that isn't going to fund, and it isn't going to have to come out. And here's Patrick Thomas Parnell, who decides to go in on Mandy over this. I don't know what his problem is with Mandy Summers, but he thoroughly hates Mandy Summers. And I got people who are sending me cliff notes. Shout out to D Artist Jewelry. I mean, a lot of people out there watched Mandy Summers' Dirt Stream. And because of Mandy's Dirt Stream, Mandy came out and said a bunch of stuff that people did not know. A lot of facts about what went down in Tampa. A lot of weird stuff involving her 13-year-old daughter and stuff like that. I mean, really, really weird. PTP responds by, and actually, I don't know if he responded or if this basically caused Mandy to do that dirt stream. Like, if you're going to say shit like this, I'm going to tell people stuff. The thing about Mandy is, like, she sees a lot of fucked up shit and she holds it inside. She doesn't really say anything. She doesn't indicate that she's got secret information. She just doesn't talk about it. She has class. And so Mandy Summers saw that PTP was calling her Alf. He said she looked like Alf, which is, well, I mean, let me see. Hold on. Let's examine this and let's try to see where Mandy might look like Alf. Open this in a new tab. You guys think Mandy Summers looks like Alf? I mean, I don't know. It's, it's a strange comparison here. Alf's eyes are real close together. Mandy's aren't. They do have this same flop of hair that goes to the side here. Alf has two teeth on the bottom like Frog Tony. I think Alf looks more like Frog Tony than Mandy Summers. If we're being honest, like, yeah, he looks a little bit more like Frog Tony than Mandy Summers. Yeah, it's in that picture, you think? You see a little resemblance in this picture? Well, I mean, that's Alf's studio photo. That's the photo that Alf uses to get hired. So that's the definitive Alf. Okay, so she looks like Alf in this picture. Mandy Summers, like, completely unloaded on PTP in a way that, like, I don't think I've seen shit like this in forever. With just a response to Mandy Summers' physical appearance. Holy shit, PTP said Mandy looked like a beloved puppet character from the 80s, and she responded by firing 6 nuclear warheads at his dumbass. Is this warranted? Let's take a look here. Taking a few bad photos after being soaked by rain, makeup running with hot frizzy hair in Florida, with no time to prepare is unfortunate, but lusting after teenagers and having a child that possibly isn't yours, cucked to the ex-hubby, a wife with no teeth, and a business that's failing as bad as your heart is substantially worse. Holy fuck. And that's just like, Uh, PTP. Oh my God, dude. Like, she took you apart. She disassembled you. She took you apart like you were a Lego figurine and left the pieces all over the floor. That is something else. So what is this? Lusting after teenagers. I don't know what that refers to. Mandy made some kind of reference to her 13-year-old daughter, who Mandy says looks like me. So I guess a little version of Alf. I don't know. Not wanting. They were like, "Are you going to bring your daughter to the water slide park in Florida?" And Mandy said, "She's 13. I'm not going to bring her in a bikini around you guys." I don't know what that means. Like, again, I to me, that's probably, I would say, like, considering it's like Big Ins and PTP, in my opinion, better safe than sorry. I wouldn't bring my kids around them. I just wouldn't. But that's what, I mean, that's me being a responsible parent. I'm not really saying anything about them, except that I think they're kind of like sleazy. That's my opinion, that they're sleazy guys. Especially after seeing some of the shit that was in that Dungeoneer room. Having a child that possibly isn't yours. Okay, so they had a kid and they named it Stormy, which I laughed at the time. I said, Stormy is most famous, like, the name Stormy is most famously associated with a porno star right now who sued Donald Trump. I mean, that's what Stormy is. I know that, I think the not Kanye West, what's her name? The Kardashians. One of the Kardashians named their kid Stormy too. But I had to be told that. My immediate reaction to hearing that you named your baby Stormy was Stormy Daniels, okay, the porno star who was in the news everywhere. Now, they had that child Stormy a while ago, and it comes out that, like, apparently Whitney was married before. I didn't know this. And the husband keeps coming around when PTP isn't there. The ex-husband keeps coming around the house to fix things. There are things that need fixing. There's some pipes that need laying in PTP's home, I guess, when PTP isn't there. And he keeps coming around. And by the way, like, Andrea's got an ex-husband too. Like, he stays far, like, he keeps his distance. I've had this kind of a little bit, sort of make sure that there's a nice separation there, and he understands that. But it's like, there's no coming around the house. There's no coming into the house when I'm not there. There's none of that at all. But apparently that's a problem in this situation. And then Whitney's pregnant. And so Mandy, I think, is trying to say that it's possible that the child isn't Patrick's. I don't know, cucked to the ex-hubby. You got to be able to say, as a man, and this is my advice to PTP, you got to be able to say the ex isn't welcome around here. There's one rooster in this hen house. It ain't your ex, and there's no reason for him to come in here. I don't care if he's Mr. Fix-It. He ain't fixing my wife, and he ain't coming in this house. I mean, there's still feelings there. You know what I mean? Like, people get divorced, but there's still feelings possibly that could arise. There's an intimacy level that's, unique to two people who used to be married. And this guy's coming around my house when I'm not there to help you fix some shit around the house. What exactly needs fixing in the house? What exactly needs fixing? So I would say, and I'm not saying that this is happening at all, but Mandy is kind of saying that it might be happening. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just saying, as a rule, the idea is to keep, keep boundaries between, because stuff like this happens, and then, your DNA tests and things like that become necessary. But that's what Mandy's bringing up. He says a wife with no teeth. I think he's referring to Whitney, who it seems like is missing a bunch of her molars. I don't know, man. I haven't looked that closely at Whitney. This is all stuff. Somebody showed me a picture once, and I was just like, okay. And a business that's failing, well, that's factual. The business is failing. As bad as your heart. So his heart. Mandy took his business, and Mandy took his heart, his health. His heart apparently is also a problem. And she did that real quick, just in a couple of clean strokes. So Mandy finished PTP, pretty good there. So, goddamn, girl. Goddamn. Don't fuck with Mandy Summers is all I'm saying. You know, I mean, don't do it, especially if you're stupid like Patrick is. All right, hold on a second. Chat, Ethan, chat. Hold on, let me see. What are you guys saying? That is fucked up. Yashimataru is saying something, of course. Queen Mandy, this is how you burn people. Only women can do that, says Paranoid Android. Came in the house, then came in. Oh, God, it sure is coming in the house, people are saying. Yashimataru. Then Mandy told PTP that she wasn't going to the water park because she was uncomfortable around biggins. After she told PTP this, oh my God, he asked her if her daughter was still going. Unaccompanied by mommy, 13-year-old PTP wants to know if Mandy's daughter, who is 13 years old, is still going to the water park. Oh, I misunderstood that. Wow. Wow, dude. That is something else. Holy shit. Yeah. Chat, is that what you're looking for me, cunning linguist? That's what you wanted me to see? Interesting. Never fuck with Mandy. No, don't. Stop swearing, E, says Puta. No. I'm going to keep swearing all the time. I can't help it. I swear over all this. How can you not curse when you read this stuff? I guess you shouldn't have compared Mandy to Alf, says Dan Lawless. Yeah, I think that's where he went wrong. I think that was his first mistake. Was trying to say that Mandy looks like Alf. Mandy's a pretty girl. People responded to this with some measure of disbelief here. So that's, they said, what? He looks like an inbred Sasquatch crackhead with its hair falling out. No one who matters is going to listen to him. Dang, Mandy, you savage. For that mountain of shade towering over PTP, I award you 1 prince. And here we go. Oop, that was shade, bitch. Did you catch it? Yeah, amazing. And then we're noticing, too, that this Jack Murphy cuck beard, you know, people blame me for dyeing my beard. I don't have that going on. I got one little stripe of brown that's here that's still in my beard. The rest of it is completely white. But yeah, if you've got the Jack Murphy cuck beard naturally growing in, go ahead and rinse a little color into it. Rinse those stripes out. This man ruined the skunk striped beard for all time. If you have that beard, that means you are a cuck. And it might be a signal. It might be a signal to other bulls that your wife is open for business. And maybe you want to participate. It might be a signal. I would just say in general, if you have this, and I'm saying this to you guys, PTP isn't going to listen to me. He never has. But I'm saying this to you in the chat. If you do have the white stripes on either side of your beard and brown in the middle, go ahead and don't listen to people who are like, Ethan dyes his beard. It's stupid. Don't listen to those people. Okay? They're leading you the wrong way. Look how handsome I look right now. Handsome. Rinse a little bit of light brown into your beard and get rid of that color. Rinse your beard so that a bull doesn't rinse your wife. That's what I would say, etc., etc. You do not, says Tiny Baby Slut. Yes, I do. I look great. Skunk face, says Crane Style. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for being with me. I'll see you guys later on today. That's our show. Appreciate it. No, oh, wait. We didn't even do what we're supposed to be doing. Our main goal. I did a little EFAP of Elasmat's Elasmat stream, which was pretty funny. What is this? No way that beard is natural. You think he did that deliberately to his beard? Here we go. 7 of 9 says, I want a goatee. What? Can you grow one? Grow one. See what it does. E-Fall says, I missed the whole show. No, I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. Oh, wait, we're done making fun of Patrick? Yeah, I think we're done with Patrick. Okay, listen. A lot of people enjoyed that Elasmat documentary. A lot of people thoroughly enjoyed watching me do EFAPs of that. He has a bunch more of these. I think that's why he keeps making them, because like certain audiences give him a little bit of pats on the back. Like he needs like back pats from folks like who? P. Callan says PTP's mom is a strong chin woman. Whoa, did you see that? I know I don't want to say anything. I've seen pictures of, I mean, the people who are in our world like pointing fingers at us. I've seen some wives that you would not believe. Some of these guys who are like constantly making memes on me and John Malin and Shane Davis, some of these guys I've seen their wives because they have been doxxed on Kiwi Farms. And holy shit, man, what it must be like to go home to that. Jesus God almighty. But I don't bring it up. It's like love is love. Like maybe they're in love. Like that's cool. Maybe she's wonderful. We enjoyed you refuting it. No one enjoyed it, Ethan. It was torment. Well, I mean, then that's not good for my my grifting scheme for this. That doesn't portend well for my grift here on this stream because today's funding goal is 20 orange super chats. 20 orange super chats. That's what we're trying to do. As you can see there. Hold on a second. Where is it? There it is, right here. 20 orange super chats. Now, if we get to 20 orange super chats over the course of this 3-hour live stream, God willing, it's going to be 3 hours. Then we will EFAP yet another Lazmat documentary of your choice. I will put a poll up. It could be his, when the culture war hit those pretty pictures. I couldn't EFAP that one or even watch it because the title was so fucking weird. And it had like Englentine facing off against Cyberfrog. That would be a sad result for anybody who sympathizes with the human race. And I didn't watch that one, but we could. There's a bunch of other stuff. There's his weird What Happened to the Pit Omnibus documentary. That's going to be more PTP and Phil Diaz trash. If you want to do another one of those, just send a $20 super chat with a little message, whatever you want to do to support the funding of that goal. That's a tough goal. That's like $400 to do that. But, I mean, if we get there, we're going to do it. We'll do it like tomorrow. We'll EFAP the whatever Lazmat documentary you would like to see. But tonight, we're going to do something that should be a little bit better. I just, what is this? Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. Okay, here it is. Why the war between ComicsGate. Look at Eric's face right at the outset. I can tell it's going to be good. Why the war between ComicsGate and Rippaverse started. This is a 40-minute documentary made by our own Eric Huffles. I like how Germans sing, says 709. Well, we'll definitely do that too. We'll play Germans singing for an orange super chat as well. Don't worry, we're going to do all of that. Texas Mofo goes, pfft. Well, Texas Mofo, I like your videos too. But Eric Huffles made a 40-minute video about this, which I think could be good. Eric Huffles is more or less on our side. What I'm expecting here from this is hopefully something that's a little bit more fair, balanced, and accurate. I hope it's not like one-sided, but we'll see how it is. Who knows? I'm just looking forward to watching this accounting of how somebody who was on the outside looking in saw all this stuff go down. Now this will be a good doc, says FLOL. Hope so. Let me see. But does he lisp? I think you mean to say, says P. Callan. I don't know. We'll find out. Let's watch the documentary together. We'll EFAP it. We'll go down memory lane. Thank you, everybody. Also, going back Cyberfrog 3, back Rainbow the Brute. Both of those campaigns are linked in the chat in the description. So go click over there. And then also go check out the prints. We've got 3 new prints this weekend. Do we have 3? I haven't revealed them yet. But 2 of them are Matt Martin Cyberfrog drawings with Heather Swain. So 2 of them are like really sexy Matt Martin drawings of Heather Swain and Cyberfrog and his enemies. We're going to release those this weekend. And then there's another one, a small 25 run print. If you've been following the prints, that's great. If you haven't, we have a bunch of them here available on the eBay store. Some of them are very close to selling out. Heather Swain Trapped just got released last week. And we've sold 50. We only have 15 of them left, I guess. So don't miss out. There were 50 of these signed and numbered. There are only 15 left. Get yours now. The link is actually pinned to the top of the chat, and that should connect you to everything else, including like Mandible Smashers. It looks like we got 21 of these left out of 50. So go pick up one of the Mandible Smashers. And then whatever else, is just a ton of other prints. Collect them. They're 11 by 17. They're all signed and numbered. And I saw somebody had a beautiful binder that they got probably at Michael's, and they've been collecting them kind of like in that binder. Nice art binder full of all the prints. It looks really, really, really good. It looks better than trading cards. So here you go. They're all here. There are a couple that are on sale. There's the Heather and Ann that's $18. And then Cyberfrog limited print number 2, which is Cyberfrog and Salamandroid together, stopping crime, where crime actually exists, for $14.88. $14.88. This is the cheapest one. Go over there and grab one of these as well. It's a good way to start the collection. And thanks very much for your support. So those are all the ways that you can support the channel tonight. Those are all the ways that you can support Cyberfrog and All Caps Comics. And with that having been said, let's begin this incredible looking documentary. I love Eric's face right at the outset.
You're going to be pissed.
Look at his fucking smirk as he's lying.
Too bad, you dumb son of a bitch.
This is so much better than a Lazmat already. This is way better. Holy shit, we got a $20 super chat. Grift away, Frogman. Nobody is going to fund your delusional goal. Love you, bro. Well, that's somebody. You're the first one. You're the first one to fund my delusional goal. Thank you, Craig69, for $20. Appreciate you. And we're off to a good start. By the way, Paranoid Android gifted a membership. Thank you very much for that as well. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. What a great start to our documentary. All right. Do you guys like this so far? It's like got a lot of rock and roll to it, a lot of energy. I'm enjoying it. I think Eric Huffles is pretty good. He might be better than Texas Mofo at this. Might be. Let's see. We need to listen. We need to listen to each other. We should listen to dickhead.
I'm not playing around.
And fucked up by Eric July.
Where's your nutsack?
Chickens in the chat.
You start gossiping like women.
Wow, that's good. Oh my God, this was... That was a prime moment right there. And he hasn't done it since. Heel versus Babyface would just scream. He thought it was real charming to just into the microphone. And he did it like 6 times in one video. And finally, I fucking just the sound of his awful, fat, stupid voice. I couldn't take it anymore. I threw off my headphones and smashed them. And people were like, damn, Ethan's losing it. Yeah, I really thought I was losing my mind. I would have smashed him in the face with those headphones if he had been there screaming like that.
Comics community has been rocked by a years-long war between 2 groups of comic book nerds. On one side, the independent rebellion of ComicsGate, led by Ethan Van Sciver. On the other is Eric July's parallel economy comic publishing company, the Rippaverse. But why did the war start? Unfortunately, there's been a lot of misinformation or outright lies about how and why the falling out happened between Ethan Van Sciver and Eric July. Join me, Eric Hutfless.
He's going to talk about my outright lies.
About how the war between ComicsGate and Rippaverse started. Before the war, Van Sciver and July were friends, or at least friendly associates. For a period, they frequently appeared together.
By the way, how can I have not worn any Phillies gear in a while, and I'm not going to. They completed a 9-game losing streak tonight. I'm sitting there trying to listen to the Phillies on the radio on the way over to Ava's show. And 9 games in a row they've lost. 9 games in a row. No end in sight to their losing streak. How do you go from being the best team in their division to the worst? The Mets are actually worse, I think. But they might not be anymore. Last I looked, the Mets were worse. Hold on a second. Let me just look real quick here. I know you guys don't give a shit. Phillies standings. I know you don't care, but like, we got to see this. This is the worst. Oh my God. Oh my God. The Phillies are the worst team in the National League East right now. They are at the bottom of this pile. By the way, the Braves, who were suffering last season, are now the #1 team with 18 wins and only 8 losses. Phillies are the reverse of that. 8 wins, 17 losses. You could play 25 games and you only win 8 of them. Fuck. What the fuck? So I was actually talking to my cashier, who when I go to the supermarket, she's always wearing Phillies gear, and she wasn't wearing any. And I said, I'm not wearing any either. And I said, listen, I would have gone to 10 games by now I would have been there so many times to watch the Phillies. I love going to see the Phillies. I'm not giving them a penny. I'm not giving them a penny until they start winning some games. How do you win 9 games in a row? Disgrace to Philadelphia. The Nationals are a better team than the Marlins are a better team than the Phillies are right now. It's disgusting. So, yeah, seeing me wear this gear of the Phillies right now is a little bittersweet.
Both on panel shows and on each other's channels. They had known each other since at least as far back as 2019. Eric July super chatted Ethan on the ComicsGate Live show on February 10th, 2019.
Oh, wow.
But first, who's Young Rippa?
Matt Becker says you need to have Young Rippa on ASAP. EVS, who's Young Rippa? Does anybody know?
Rapper, I guess?
Sounds like a rapper.
Sounds like a rapper.
Yeah.
Martina Marcota's there.
Says, F yeah, we got a super chat from Eric July. Where's Eric July? Did I miss that? Eric July actually wrote to me and said, I don't know if he wants people to know this yet. Never mind. We're going to be working together on something. So that was kind of neat. We're going to talk tomorrow. Yeah, do you know who Eric July is? Martina?
Eric July?
Mm-hmm.
No. Should I?
Libertarian. Yeah, he's I've seen him before. I looked at his Twitter. I kind of like what he does. And he's in a band, you know.
Oh.
I gotta check out his music and stuff. But STD Spider-Man says, I'm giving you the tip, Ethan, but just the tip.
STD Spider-Man.
Eric is Young Rippa. Oh, Eric is Young Rippa. Okay, all right. Yeah, well, I think there's a good chance that he will be coming on then, because he reached out to me tonight, and I said, yeah, give me a call tomorrow, and we're going to talk about a project.
They agreed on most every topic about the state of the culture, as can be seen in this clip from Eric July's For Canon's Sake show, featuring Ethan on March 20th, 2020.
Well, Birds of Prey, for whatever reason, they marketed it to these blue-haired weirdos, right? You got Ewan McGregor, hey, we're tackling misogyny, right? We're tackling these it's not just the direct misogyny. We're attacking the everyday misogyny. I'm like, what me and the lady was 2 other people were the only people in the theaters on opening night of that movie, right? You're scared, like the core demographic, you basically spit in their faces and said, go screw yourself. Mm-hmm. Go screw yourself. The guys that would have been most responsive to seeing chicks kick ass.
You
right?
looked gayer.
They said
this is when Ethan still had his gay lilt.
I ain't gonna go watch it.
I still have that.
And not only did they not watch it, the people that they tried to appeal to didn't go watch it.
They don't understand what women want.
Right.
What women want isn't that hard.
Yeah, it's not.
I'll answer it. Women want Aquaman.
Right.
They want that dude.
Right.
You want to get women to go to a superhero movie? You put that guy in the movie. Take his shirt off.
Yep.
And he's
there you go.
You got women going there.
Yep. Easy.
They don't want to see butch lesbians pissed off, like kicking each other in the face. They don't want it. I know you think that's what they want. We want to see empowered women. No, they don't. Nobody wants to see that. Some guys pretend they want to see that.
Right.
They don't want to see that. So the basic formula still works. You know, it's like powerful man, damsel in distress. And yeah, the damsel in distress can kick some ass. Mm-hmm. Princess Leia was great.
Yeah. What's the name? I mean, granted, she was, what she's doing off screen is something else, but Mira in Aquaman, same thing. She was a kick. I did a full video. It's like, this is one of the best handled kick-ass like character. She was very strong in this movie, but they did it in a way that it made sense, and we loved it. We loved it. Nobody was like, oh, well, look at the.
She was feminine and beautiful. Yep. I mean, she's desirable. Yep. Who's desirable in Birds of Prey, and by who? I mean, I look at that stuff and I'm just like, I don't know who this is for. This is awful. This feels bad to look at. Yep. I don't like these people. I don't want them to win. I hope they all die.
I hope they all die.
Before I even go into the movie, I hope they all die is what's going on in my head in the end. I was like that with Rise of Skywalker too, though.
Yeah.
I hope they all die.
When Eric July started setting up his comic company, the Rippaverse, he came to Ethan for help. Ethan gave him a constant stream of advice and knowledge on everything from printers to which artists to hire. During the launch of both ISOM issues 1 and 2, Ethan hosted big promotional live streams on his channel.
I passed out on the couch after an enormous 11-hour live stream effort last night.
Oh my gosh.
Where's that
Absolutely
chart?
insane. We're watching history happen, watching it unfold in front of our eyes. And the entire purpose of last night's live stream was to be here when Rippaverse passes $1 million. Let me refresh it here. We might be there already. Let me just check. Okay, good. We didn't miss it. Congratulations. We did it. We are at $1 million.
Gabe El-Taib is on there.
We managed to push this campaign to like the first step of our final goal, which is...
You can share my screen. I've got it.
World domination. Okay, here we go. This will... Oh, Andy's here. Hello, Andy. Welcome.
Well, hello, everyone. $1 million.
Ethan cut a promo for the Rippaverse at the end of his video about Sam Wilson becoming Captain America in the MCU.
It never occurs to these people to just get black creators and let them create. You know, they've always got to just sort of F with stuff that already exists and do gender swaps and race swaps and then call everybody bigots when they complain. And everybody complains. It seems like if you're Caucasian or black or whatever, people don't like to have their superheroes altered and changed. They just don't like it. Rather than do that, why not get bright creators who are black or are something other than white Caucasian? Try this. Let them create their own superheroes and see what happens. That's what's happening here with Eric July and the Rippaverse. And he is launching tomorrow. I was wrong. His character, Isom, I think, is the first book. Isom. Let me see what to expect tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow they're going to go on sale, the books. Yeah, there we go. Let black creators create.
Ethan even drew the cover art for Isom issue 2. So why has Ethan spent years making hundreds of videos tearing down the Rippaverse? Criticism, or rather, how Eric July reacts to criticism. As soon as it was announced, the Rippaverse faced extreme criticism, but it was mostly from leftists. The early Rippaverse marketed itself as an alternative to the woke mainstream comics, so SJWs attacked it. But the SJW criticisms were perfidious. They said silly things like, the Rippaverse is a scam, July is going to run with the money and never make the books. This fatuous disparagement taught Mr. July a dangerous lesson. He could ignore criticism. His belief would cause a chain of events that would bring Ethan in direct confrontation with Mr. July. And that chain starts with the man named
Which one
Vito
am I?
Gasaldi.
Oh.
Vito is a comedian and erstwhile comic creator working on his own creator-owned comic, Super Killer.
Sort of.
Vito is also the co-host of a podcast called The Biggest Problem in the Universe with author Dick Masterson. On the show, they lightheartedly debate various problems, with Vito coming from a more leftist perspective and Dick being
19 more super chats. Orange
For
super
several
chats or
weeks,
Jabba
Vito
will laugh.
doubted the quality and verisimilitude of the Rippaverse on Twitter. Then, on August 15th, 2022, the Rippaverse was brought up on The Biggest Problem.
For like the last 2 weeks, all Vito has done is had a meltdown that this black guy is funding his comic.
Now wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me understand this. Eric July is his name?
Yes.
He crowdfunded over $1 million for his...
$2 million now.
$2 million?
Wow.
Initially, Dick defended the Rippaverse.
That comic is going to be such trash, and once it comes
Why?
out,
No, my friend is doing the art on that.
Yeah, your friend's art is fine. He's illustrating the vanity project of a zero IQ knucklehead.
How do you know that, though?
Because it looks like shit. It's
Why?
gonna suck.
Vito.
I don't get why I can call out bad projects like Star Wars looking like shit. If I
But
see a
Star
movie
Wars
trailer looks like shit, and his comic
has
looks
an
like shit.
infinite budget. His comic doesn't even exist. And he made it out of nothing. He made $2 million a piece.
He spent $200,000 to put one comic together.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot.
Yeah,
yes, it's a huge amount.
That changed when Vito appeared on July's show Monetize Your Haters on August 25th. July muted Vito every time Vito mentioned his own comic.
If there's something that you want to do or you think that that this is a way that it should be done, I encourage you to go ahead and do that. But like,
well, I'm glad you bring that up because that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm currently working on a comic book.
I'm woke again, Jabba, says JD Kirby. Oh, shit. Mute him.
Book with a great story.
Eats his fingernails.
That has been driven into the ground, and people are being worked up into a frothing mess over it. We're now cheering that movies and cartoons are getting canceled because they might have been woke. I saw yesterday Heel vs. Babyface is excited that a follow-up to Batman the Animated Series got canceled because it's woke. Frankly, this kind of rhetoric seems to be about canceling creators rather than lifting them up. We're going to cancel all the movies and TV shows because they might be woke?
On the next episode of Biggest Problem, later that night, Vito's appearance on Monetize Your Haters was brought up.
Well, this is going to be an exciting show. We might be joined from some people from Eric July's Rippaverse.
You mean bots that he paid to give good reviews to his comic?
Well, I'm not accusing
Margaret
him.
Miracle, thank
man,
you.
Look at you. You have the smirk of a man who's
Yeah, all right. That's 2. That's 2. We got 2 out of that's 10%. 10% of what we need. We must suffer more, says Margaret Miracle. $20 towards our $400 goal, in which we will EFAP yet another Lazmat shitamentary. So we'll do that. Thank you so much. Amazing. Appreciate you, Margaret. Appreciate my real fans. Real fans.
total devastation. I heard. I was driving home for the show and I got a text that just said total devastation.
Wait, who said that?
A guy I know. He said total devastation. Vito totally destroyed Eric Rippa.
Well, I
and
did.
His Scamiverse. That's what he called it. A Scamiverse.
Oh my God.
I can't believe you called into his show.
Oh yeah, we had like a 30-minute. I think it was a productive 30-minute conversation. And then the second I leave, he goes, "That fat loser is jealous of my success." And I'm like, "Why didn't you bring that up on the show?"
Who else called in?
I don't know. That was just him after I left.
Are you talking about you?
He starts talking shit. I'm like, bro, we could have done that on the show. I would have went back at you.
Tell him to call in right now.
He should call in. Well, so if Eric July is currently streaming, so let him know that if he wants to call into Biggest Problem, we will get him on here.
Okay. Should we do the theme song now?
I can't believe he waited until I was off to start
you a fat
calling me a piece of
loser.
shit. I'm like, if you wanted to go at it, I was being very accommodating. Yeah, go. Let's do it.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
I don't know how to express that.
Well, you got to listen to it. You might listen to it and go, I don't know if I did a good
I don't need to listen to it. I mean, you talk to him.
I think
ballsy. Most people just like sit and see.
No, I'll talk to anybody. It's funny.
Masterson was now on board with criticizing and mocking the Rippaverse. Dunking on Eric July became a regular feature of Biggest Problem. So, what does this have to do with Ethan's War on July? Ethan was a fan of the show.
Jimmy Max says, Ethan, do you kiss your dick poster every night before bed? Hey, I like the Dick Show. I do like Dick Masterson. I like his Biggest Problem in the Universe show a lot. I think they're really good broadcasters. And that's just reality. And you know what? I just don't care. You know, it's like there are all these lines of loyalty and people that you have to hate and people that you have to like to get along on YouTube. I don't give a shit, dude. I got work to do over there. I draw and I watch YouTube channels. And the stuff that I like, maybe you don't like, and maybe some people who are allied with me would be sad if they knew I listened to it. But fuck it, man. I'm 49 years old. I didn't 49. 49 to be told what to do by fucking YouTubers. I'll be honest with you. I haven't changed. I'll do whatever I want to do. I just gave that same speech this morning. The Dick Masterson show. I'm sorry that he doesn't like Eric July. I like Eric July. I like Isom. I think it's pretty good. You are 49 anymore, old man, says Eric.
Ethan has said that while he is drawing, he listens to Biggest Problem and Masterson's other podcast, The Dick Show. Ethan even appeared on The Dick Show in 2018.
Presenting Dick.
I was on in 2018.
Hey, Ethan, are you there, buddy?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, man? Thanks for calling in. For the people who don't know, I do a terrible job of explaining what people do, but you are pretty much the figurehead or the person in the main target of what's called ComicsGate. Is that right?
That's where I find myself. Yeah. What do you guys think of that?
Oh, well, I wrote a book called Men Are Better Than Women 10 years ago, so I think you could probably guess where I fall on the Ethan, help me out. It's a reaction, it's a backlash to certain elements trying to force diversity into comics for the sake of diversity, like trying to force social issues into comics that just were never there and they don't fucking belong there.
That's very.
Now, hold on a second. My normal talking voice, this is my normal speaking voice. This is how I talk, just like this. Hey, everybody, how are you? I think my voice, when I first started doing YouTube, when it comes to like people going, look at how gay you sound. I was trying to create a radio affect, and I was trying to sound like an American version of Ricky Gervais from the Ricky Gervais podcast, where he would very calmly call Carl Pilkington a fucking shaved monkey. And that's what I was trying to do. That was my voice. And one of the reasons why I did that was because Richard C. Meyer and I used to talk about how annoying so many YouTubers' voices were. Like, I'd want to watch a Captain Cummings video. My advice was like this! And it's like, God! Can't stand, I can't listen to the whole video because the voice is so irritating. Jesse Milestone had the same problem. A lot of YouTubers who I otherwise would have enjoyed listening to just had horrible speaking voices. So Zach and I actually had a conversation about that, where it's like, I think my earliest videos were kind of a little awkward, and then I found my YouTube voice, which was kind of like that. Now, over time, I don't know what's happened, but I can feel like I feel that my voice dropped a couple of registers there, like my balls finally dropped. But this is how I talk now. When I talk to people in private, public, this is just the voice that comes out. I don't really know. I'm like trying to do the voice. Hey, yeah, this is where I find myself. I can't even really do it anymore. But that was more of an affect than anything else. This is just my regular speaking voice. Yeah, that's why I think like I was really conscious of radio and trying to make a noise on the radio where there was kind of a lull bass sound, but it was also kind of calming at the same time. I thought that would help me as a YouTuber. I think it did. Eric the Monk says, I can explain how a voice gets deeper over time, but I don't think I want to talk about all that in this chat. Oh, okay, Eric, yeah. Effects of working at DC World. Well, that's the other thing. I'm not going to talk about DC. Yeah, when you work amongst a bunch of liberals, you need to sound also as sexually unthreatening as possible as a man. I mean, yeah, those people are all kind of like hidden predators that don't want to let you know that they're dangerous in the comic book industry. So everybody kind of talks like that. Anyway, moving on.
Annoying.
Ethan, do you think that's an accurate explanation?
Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, just in general, it's an uprising against just leftism taking over comic books in general, and everything that comes with leftism, which is one of the most annoying aspects of it is this snarky kind of extremely rude attitude that they take towards the fan base. Any complaints are met with just accusations of bigot, racist, Nazi.
So, as time goes on, Dick and Vito ask why no one is criticizing Isom. July punches back, going on profanity-laced tirades and calling them names. And Ethan is seeing all of this at the time that he's trying to advise and promote July's comic books.
Man, I had all those Superpowers action figures pinned to the wall, and then two Migos. Andrea got me a Superman Migo, still carded, and then I got a Batman Migo to match it, still carded. I have those over there. That really looks good. That display looks good. R2D2's over there. I put the DC Comics action figures back on the wall, but I took the ones that I designed. But I took down the Superpowers figures because I was like, I'm not promoting the fact that I worked at DC anymore. And then I kind of walked it back halfway. That looks good, though. I think it looks better than what I have now. I got a Dale Keown poster, but it's just like you can only see a piece of it, and it's just one thing. The thing about Nerdrotic's background is there's so much dumb shit to look at that I think that's part of being a YouTuber. Okay.
Ethan straddles this line between July and Masterson for months. Until June 3rd, 2023. This was the infamous episode of FlashCast where Dick Masterson confronted Eric July live on camera.
Hello!
But people forget or don't know that Ethan and July had already sparred about criticism on that same stream before Masterson arrived. The panel had already been discussing Masterson's review of ISOM, with Ethan saying that criticism can make you better.
I thought the book was fine. I was fine with it. I liked it.
Everything's fine, but it could be better. See, this is the whole
But
thing.
he knows that. He knows
I understand.
that.
So, listen, Literature Devil did a review of Wreck Planet that was like when I first watched it, I was like, because he had a better idea for the ending. He said, "This is where you went wrong. This is what probably would have made Cyberfrog's initial sentiments at the beginning more profound," and he was 100% right.
After Eric July joins Flashcast, he gives his idea of the mindset of his critics.
Is that people are nipping at the ankles, trying to hope that they can, whether it be with their dead channels, whether it be.
Oh my God. See, I'm listening to this and I'm like, this is all because, do you really think Dick Masterson is like nipping at your ankles? I'm listening to this. I'm going, he's not in the same sphere as you are. He doesn't care. Like, he just doesn't care. He reviewed the comic book and he said it wasn't very good, just as he suspected, because he rightly, he saw through Eric July, saw him as like a hustler. He saw him as like, Eric July took me aside, was like, one thing about you need to work on is you don't know how to peep game. And I said, the fuck are you talking about? Peep game. What does peep game mean? And he said that it was so retarded. Like, I can't stand this fucking black speak. All this like lingo and ghetto shit. I was like, what does peep game mean? And what it means is, as it turns out, you've got to recognize hustlers and scam artists. You got to be able to recognize them and be able to deal with them. So Eric was quite right. Like, I did need to peep game. I needed to realize that Eric was a hustler and he needed to not get hustled by other hustlers. He was telling me that Dick Masterson was a hustler that was trying to hustle him online, and I was too dumb to see that, but he was a smart hustler who was going to hustle his way around Dick Masterson. And I was just like, I just don't think that's the case, man. I just I don't think Dick Masterson is trying to fuck you over. I think he just is making content for YouTube and trying to point out that your book's not very good. But Eric reacted to this with like such violence, and he really just didn't need to do that. It was so embarrassing. This whole stream was really awkward and embarrassing for me personally.
With trying to, this is how they generate somebody talking about them. And when you enter into any sort of definitely form of art where that is your sort of mindset, then you're often going to make
a lot
of like these critical errors where you end up just, saying dumb shit and making enemies out of people that shouldn't even be sort of your enemy.
Ethan and July spar over Dick.
He's telling me that I have entered into the art field with him, and because of that, I'm going to be saying a lot of dumb shit that is going to end up making enemies of people that I shouldn't be enemies with. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. I'm listening to this and I'm just like, all I hear from that, like the whole part about entering into art, I was born into this. What does Bane say there? I was born into the darkness or whatever it is. I'm born into art. I've been doing this my entire fucking life. So I didn't enter into this. I'm already here. You're the one entering into this or trying to. What dumb shit am I saying exactly? What dumb shit have I ever said to you when you ask my opinion about making comics? How do I do it? All of these things. Tell me, make a list of all the dumb shit that I've said. And then the only part that matters is making enemies of people who shouldn't be your enemies, who should be your allies. And to me, that's Eric's personal choice. I'm listening to this and I'm going, if we're going to become enemies over this, it's your choice. That's you doing that. I'm just being honest with you and I'm standing by my own principles. If you think that I'm going to sit there and just be like, fuck it, none of this really matters, just keep giving this guy money and he's just not going to improve and the books are just kind of going to be regular. He's going to ignore anybody who criticizes his work, which is what comics are based around. Like when you're in the comic book industry making comics, you live for the criticism. I would do an issue of Batman and I would wait for the 4 different review sites that I watched, and I'd wait to either get my ass kissed or my ass kicked every single month. You'd wait for that review. And sometimes a reviewer would say amazingly positive things, and other times they would be like, yeah, Ethan's blah, 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 this is, But I mean, all of that stuff was valuable. And then I would take that review and then I'd go back to the drawing board and see what I could do. Or I'd feel very encouraged about myself, one of the two things. But criticism and feedback is vital, and it's what all creative people are looking for. We don't want to work in a vacuum. We do want our work to actually receive criticism, be read, have an impact, and then give, be rewarded with feedback. So Eric is saying no, he doesn't want to hear any of that. And, you could end up making enemies of him by doing that, which was not news that I wanted to hear after supporting this guy and promoting this guy for a year. It was not pleasant for me.
Next review of ISOM.
I heard you talking, Ethan, about this whole like this guy in his review or criticism was excellent. That's bullshit.
Eric, did you really think back then that you were going to tell me a goddamn thing about comic book art and reviews? Did you ever think that you were going to sit there and say, that's bullshit, that his review was good? And I was going to go, Eric, maybe you're right. Maybe you know more about comic books and comic book creation than I do. Maybe you've received an Eisner nomination. Maybe you've worked with Grant Morrison and Jeff Johns for like 2 decades. Maybe you know more about making comic books than I do with your first stupid attempt at a comic book. And it's so hard because you want to be really nice. I wanted to be super nice to him and super supportive, but he's sitting there trying to tell me at this point my own business and my own craft. And you could see the look on my face. Raging Rhino, Flash, Nina, PTP, everybody on the screen is absolutely terrified of Eric because of clout. They're scared of him. And the only thing I'm scared of is, shit, this guy has clowned a bunch of my audience. My audience is now entangled with Rippaverse, and it's my fault. It's partially my fault. So now if I come out against Eric, I'm going to risk losing a bunch of customers, which, guess what, is exactly what happened. But it needed to be done. So that look of pretty much fury on my face at that point is all that stuff beginning to sink in.
Read through it ourselves. It's not excellent. It was literal lies.
This is the whole thing, the good faith versus bad faith thing. I talked about this on my Twitter. It goes both ways. It doesn't matter if someone's approaching you because they like you or they hate you. What really matters?
I disagree with that. 100%.
I do. I know. Listen to what I'm saying, Eric. Somebody is approaching you because they really, really like you. They might be afraid to give you actual pointed, valuable criticism. Agree with that, but because they don't want to fight with you.
Ethan even gives an example of when he took criticism from one of his longtime haters.
The bad faith argument goes in both ways, and I understand because I'm where you are, and I have people nipping at my heels all day long. And even still, I'll examine somebody like Rippaverse, who made a video criticizing Cyberfrog Wreck Planet, the first 20 pages. And you know what? She had 3 good points. And I'm glad I listened to it because I fixed it for clarity. I went, fuck it. I hate this girl. She hates me, but she's right.
And
no,
now,
Mike,
the crux of
you are 100%
should
wrong
creators
about this
consider the
critique.
opinions
You
of
keep saying
unfriendly
that,
critics.
and I keep shooting you down. We can't win the culture war without great stories, and we need to listen. We need to listen to each other.
We shouldn't listen to dickheads. No, we shouldn't listen to dickheads. Like people that act like hoes.
Flashcast got
People that
derailed
act,
into a
we
different...
shouldn't listen to people that act like hoes. God damn! How did I find myself here? This is hell. This is what. No, we shouldn't listen to dickheads. We shouldn't listen to people who act like hoes. I used to be hanging out with like really smart, clever, creative people. I used to sit in meetings with Dan DiDio. I used to sit in meetings with Joe Quesada. I was around some of the smartest comic book creators in the world. George Perez was a personal friend. I am now sitting on a panel with a fucking asshole who was just handed $3.7 million to make a single comic, and it wasn't very good. And when it comes to getting criticism, he's like, we shouldn't listen to dickheads and hoes. How the fuck did I find myself here? God damn it. This is all for voting for... by the way, all these like Tucker Carlson types that are like abandoning Trump and everything like that, and they're like, we gave up so much for you and you turned on us. That should be me. Like, I should be like, I gave up so much for supporting you, Mr. President. Luckily, I mostly agree with Trump. Still. But yeah, it's like I should be like the same thing. Like, I gave up so much. Like, I'm now stuck with Eric July and fucking, I mean, the dumbest people in the world are making comics. I have to listen to them, and it fucking does my head in every single day. Oh my God, it was so nice. All the friendly homosexuals, you know, at DC Comics, all these weird, you know, sex pests and freaks. Man, at least they knew how to make good comic books, though. You know, Ethan Van Crybaby. I know. I trust the plan. Says what? I should have been nicer to Gail. Says right. Couldn't have been nicer to Gail if I tried. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Back to the show.
Subject before any agreement could be made. But Ethan and Eric continued to be friendly, and July even joined Ethan the next day when Ethan was reviewing the Flashcast stream on his own channel.
And the reason why he did that was because he saw me reviewing the stream, and he's like, I need to get in there and control the narrative that comes from this. So he's like, send me the link. Let me come in. I was like, fuck. All right. All right, here's our friend. We don't have an intro for him, but welcome, Eric July. How you doing tonight?
Am I, man? What's up?
Oh, my God. My wife this morning, Eric, she tuned in the middle of the night, and she goes, why were you adversarial against Eric July? I was like, baby, I wasn't. She's like, that's what it looked like. You can't do that. And I said, well, I think you needed to watch this show. I'm not adversarial against Eric July at all, but conscious of imagery there. So if that's how it seemed, again, we got to get that straight. Just so awful. I mean, you know, it's like, yeah, we're now in this spot where, like, we have to kowtow to this fucking knucklehead. She's like, you can't appear to be adversarial against him. I'm like, I'm trying not to, but he's like, I mean, really, really stupid, and kind of a bully. And I don't know what we're gonna do, because, you know, this is gonna get worse. But she's just like, our customers. Like, you have to think about, like, you know, the fact that, like, our business is, you know, keeping a roof over our heads. You can't fight with this guy. And I'm like, God, that sucked. Way adversarial. And I don't want to seem like I'm up against you or being confrontational with you one single bit.
But soon the relationship would catastrophically implode, and it would start with the infamous night letter, a text message from July that Ethan interpreted as a threat. A night letter is a message meant to intimidate and silence the receiver, which is what Ethan thought July was doing. Ethan didn't disclose the text at first. I'll explain why the text was sent, why Ethan initially kept it secret, and why he revealed it to the world a few months after receiving it. What brought on the night letter text? The surviving fragments of this Twitter thread shows Ethan clarifying that July was participating in the fight with Masterson by calling him Buster Baxton. July disparagingly compared Masterson's appearance to the White Rabbit character from the cartoon Arthur.
Who you think I'm gonna listen to? Some Buster Baxter looking ass nigga, or I'm gonna listen to Chuck Dixon? Seriously, I'm asking that genuinely.
So the Twitter thread was posted at 3 p.m. on August 10th, 2023. At 3:11 p.m., Ethan received the night letter text message.
Oh, that's
July
interesting.
tells Ethan to stop giving credence to Dick Masterson's narrative, and if Ethan doesn't, July promises to start reciprocating.
That's what prompted the night letter? When he was saying, these guys are fucking with me. I'm like, no, didn't you just call him a Buster Baxter looking mofo? Like, you're not ignoring him. You're actually stirring the pot. And then, 11 minutes later, I got this. Wow. I always wondered, like, what it was. Like, I couldn't remember. Welcome, Shane Davis. Hey, Shane. Hello?
Hey.
Hi, Shane Davis. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Are you tired? Are you sleepy?
I've been catching up on some sleep lately. I'm all right. I've been watching this a little bit. This is kind of crazy to go back and look at the beginnings of this.
I appreciate Eric, Eric Huffles laying it out in this video, because I mean, it's like people go, why did this happen? And it's like, so far this is pretty cogent, and there's some stuff that I forgot that's in this, But that point that he just made, that like that's what really prompted Eric to like fucking lose his shit, was when I'm like, no, he's trying to create this narrative that he is completely innocent in all of this and they're just ankle biters. And I'm like, no, you're feeding the trolls. Like, you called him a Buster Baxter looking mofo, and now he's going, like, Dick responded to that with, you're saying I'm a rabbit? Well, rabbits are the animal of the trickster kingdom. Like, the trickster characters of the animal kingdom. I'm gonna go whole hog against you now, as a rabbit. And it's like, you're doing this to yourself, buddy. You could just either accept or... And then I get this message. I'm going to be a hunter with you and not be public with this. You going out of your way to play the middle of the road publicly with a dude that has gone out of his way to work overtime to publicly defame is whack. By the way, I like the way he says the same thing 3 times 3 different ways and then ends it with some bit of ghetto like lingo. It's whack. I don't know what that means. It's even weaker that you lend credence to their narrative. I treat you like I do. This was infuriating to me. I treat you like I do anybody else in this space. And I was like, listen, you're talking to a guy with a galactic sized ego. I mean, you got to know that when dealing with people, and I'm completely self-aware. I have an enormous ego. You're going to tell me that you fucking retard, you fucking hillbilly from Texas, you fucking ghetto rat, that you treat me the same way you treat anybody else on YouTube? You piece of shit. Are you sitting there asking everybody to do covers for you? I guess now you are. Are you asking everybody for advice about how to build comics, et cetera, et cetera? Is that how you're treating that's the way you treat me, just like anybody else? You don't treat me with slightly more respect? Fucking shithead. When I read that, I was like, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. And I said that to him face to face in our chat. I said, you treat me like everybody else, do you? I said, don't you think that's like not a good idea? You think that's a mistake to treat me the way you do everybody else? No, man, I just mean to say that, like, fuck you. He says, and I do not use my platform to amplify narratives that go against others I'm cool with. So he's saying, you have the benefit of being protected by my umbrella, and I'm not going to say what other people say about you. Everybody I do shows and streams with knows not to bring up any gripes with people I'm cool with, as I will not give it the time of day. So Eric's like, I'm super powerful. I have a ton of clout, and I'm protecting you. I go on these shows where people don't like you. And essentially, you want to keep it that way. He says, I'm going to start reciprocating on that. So that's a threat right there. And people go, this is not a threat.
He also kind of used his platform as a carrot and waved it around. Like, I don't use my platform to blah, blah, blah. Meaning, like, like maybe you'll lose access to his channel, which I don't know if he actually promoted you that much.
He didn't promote me at all.
He kind of dangled that. That's kind of weird that he dangled that.
I don't think he was dangling that at all. I don't think there's any mention of, him promoting me and stopping promoting me, because he never promoted me in the first place. There might have been a mention here or there, but I mean, he didn't do live streams. Like, they just show in this, like, we're up until 4 a.m. trying to get Ice on #1 to its first $1 million, and we're congratulating each other. Gabe Altaiba's on there. He didn't do anything like that for me at all.
Us all working together for a black man from the hood
Piece
to
of
make
shit.
a comic. I mean, that was that was the biggest, like, what is it, like a boys club thing? Like, what was that in the 80s? Like the YMCA boys club like thing with inner city youth. Like, what was that called? What was that called?
Inner city youth, something or other. You mean
No, it's like.
Break Into Electric Boogaloo? Is that where they all got together, all the inner city youth, to dance off to save the community center?
Yeah.
We're something like that.
We're out here trying to boost up this young black creator, at 4 a.m. so he can hit like $1 million, and somehow we're racist years later. So it doesn't even make sense. I love it. I love how today, like, Flash is calling us racist.
He is? Is Flash calling us racist today?
He has a couple of times. He's called us racist,
I don't even pay attention to what Flash is saying. Yes, the word I treat you like everybody else in this space means beneath him, is what I noticed on that word. Well, there's definitely that. Definitely that. Yeah, like this was absolutely infuriating. It was a warning to me. And all I did was I was honest. I said to him, "Look, you're continuing to feed these trolls. You're doing this. This is you doing this." And then I get this message from him, like, "You're amplifying the narratives." It's like, should I amplify yours? That he looks like Buster Baxter, Dick Masterson. His IQ is 3 times yours. Like, why don't you recognize that? There are certain people who don't know when they're speaking to really dumb people. Don't recognize when they're speaking to people who are more intelligent than them. They just don't. And intelligent people always assume, like I assumed that Eric July was smart. I just assumed it because why is he on all these shows if he's not? So you just assume that and you're gradually let down by somebody's lack of intelligence. But Eric July is like, I'm smarter than Dick Masterson. It's like, you're not smarter than him. N-word, you ain't special, says Pete Cal. Essentially, that's what he's saying here to me. So, all right, let's go on.
The two men then have a phone call to hash it over. Ethan describes the call a couple of months later, after he had made the text public.
He goes, if you want to chat about it, you're free to call. So we did. We got on the phone. To me, I received this as, look at him criticizing me in public, or I'm going to, basically, I'm going to unleash influencers who want to go at you. I'm going to tell them they can go ahead and go at you. It was a threat. It was just a threat. It was a nicely, carefully worded threat. So I sat on this. I called him. I talked to him. I said, this is a threat, Eric. You're threatening me. He goes, threaten. I go, you know where I'm from? I'm not stupid. This is a threat. You're basically telling me that if I don't shut my mouth, you're going to allow your friends who are in high places, who are influencers on YouTube, to attack me. That's what you're saying here. And he was like, I said, Eric, I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you about all this stuff. We got to be able to talk about this stuff, you and I. I mean, I give you advice, and you just, basically don't listen. It's a mistake not to listen. I'm giving you decent advice. It's leading you down a path where it's making your life more and more difficult. And he said, you know what, Ethan? He said, you think you're more important to indie comics than you actually are. And then he choked on the last word and kind of pulled it back.
It was the N-word, right?
So I was like, there's a whole fucking shitload of resentment underneath the surface of this that I've just kind of tapped into. Eric seems like a nervous wreck. So I talked to him and I said, I understand why me disagreeing with you publicly might cause you stress. And I will try not to do that, but don't threaten me like this ever again. And he smiled and went, okay. Yeah. Cool. I still think of that smile. So I sat with this since like that, August 11th until now. And I thought about what a coward I am for not immediately exposing this, for not immediately sharing this. I should have done it right away. And not because I'm mad at Eric or anything like this, but this isn't cool. Like, is he doing this to other people? Because everybody seems to be afraid to like read the comic and criticize it or offer genuine criticism. Everybody seems afraid. That's not what ComicsGate is.
Everybody seems to be afraid. There's been a lot of questioning about why Ethan revealed the text message and why it was months later. To understand that, I think we need to rewind to September 29th, 2023, a couple of weeks before Ethan disclosed the DM. On this day, Mr. July forced his way onto the live stream of Nick Rakita. Nick Rakita is a lawyer who has a podcast where he discusses legal cases, and often those that affect entertainment. Nick is an acquaintance of Ethan and has covered ComicsGate legal issues before, such as Richard "Ya Boy Zach" Myers' suit against Mark Wade.
And Chad
anyway,
the Chud.
Nick was covering the legalities of one of Masterson's associates, Riley, going in person to the Rippaverse warehouse. July was in the chat and came on the show. The conversation turned to July's belief that Nick was supporting Masterson's narrative. By the way, July keeps calling Masterson Nick's partner for some reason.
Your partner started the issue, right?
This was the best show.
And it's all on him. This isn't an Eric versus him thing. This is a thing that he is perpetually online.
This was Nick Rekieta in his absolute prime. I don't think Nick Rekieta has ever been more entertaining. I don't think Nick Rekieta has ever been better than this, as he's sitting there arguing with this fucking dumb zoo animal, like, you know, and asking him basic questions that end up getting him tripped up and then exposing him as just a fucking liar and a grifter. It was great. And Nick just played it cool, and his whole demeanor was, I don't want to do this, but you forced your way on my show after calling me names. Now, just before this, Eric July had done a video calling Nick Rekieta names, calling him a liar, calling him a flim-flam artist or whatever it is. And so Nick was going to go over that video, and Eric said, I want to come on the show and defend myself. So Nick said, okay. And this was pretty much Eric July, the beginning of Eric July's undoing.
Maybe he doesn't have it all upstairs. This may be his shtick. But if you want the shit to end, and you want that, because you find this whole thing gay, and you're genuine about that, right?
100%. I hate
that's
this
a conversation that you got to have with him. It's not the other way
I'm
around.
not his dad, man. What do you want me to do?
All right. If you actually wanted the shit to end, and you didn't, this is not something that you would have preferred to happen, you would have took that up with the actual initiating party, and that's not what it is to do it. No.
I didn't do that.
No. Not to my knowledge, you didn't do it. You did, however, bring it
Please
up like,
stop
hey,
letting Dick Masterson say what he wants about me.
Wouldn't happen, and this is all gay and all that. To my knowledge, you haven't done any of that. But on a serious note, on a more serious,
would you have knowledge if I did?
Absolutely.
Do you know what I've said to Dick about this?
No, I only know what you say in public. Have you? I'll ask you flat out. Have you?
Maybe.
Is that a yes or a no, though, Nick?
I don't know. Is it a yes or no? You're saying what I haven't done.
Hold on.
You're the one who said what I did.
You can't sit up here and keep asking me these questions.
First of all, you're asking me to be his
have you addressed it personally about it? Have you? Yes or no? Yes or no?
I've talked to Dick 100 times about this. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. That's all. Okay, cool. And so, how did that conversation go?
Exactly as you would expect a conversation with Dick Masterson about what they should do.
I don't know how that is.
You haven't figured that out by now? Like if you tell Dick to do something that he's not going to do it, right?
What did you tell him to do?
Hey, Dick, this shit's gay. I wish you would stop.
Yeah. See, Eric, Eric is basically doing to Nick Rekieta. I'm watching this. Eric is bullying Nick Rekieta and basically saying, listen, what are you doing? This guy's your friend. And by the way, yeah, Eric had insulted. He goes back and he insults Nick again the next day. But before this, like, Eric had insulted Nick, and then he wanted on the platform. He's basically saying, what is you doing to stop Dick Masterson from talking shit about me? And Nick is like, maybe I told him to stop. I don't know. I'm cool with you. And Eric's like, well, did you? Have you? And Nick's like, maybe. And he's like, what does maybe mean? Like, pushing him and bullying him to, like, get involved and step in between, like, him and, his mutual friend, like Dick Masterson. It's just seeing Eric do this, like, try to force people to sort of behave in ways to sort of sweep for him, protect him and stuff. This is why lesser YouTubers were afraid of Eric. Now, I was afraid of Eric because I was afraid of my bank account, and that was it. The only reason why I'm afraid of Eric July at this point is because Andrea said to me, like, you can't be adversarial with him. And I'm like, try to stay out of trouble with him.
Props to Nick, though. I think Nick's kind of like baiting him and pulling him into weird sound bites. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe you're saying this. I don't know. Well, what do you think it would be? And then Eric's actually taking the bait like a fucking mouse in a mousetrap every time. It's kind of crazy. I mean, this is like a high IQ person linked up with a low IQ person conversation.
Low IQ person who, again, Dunning-Kruger, he just does not understand how dumb he is compared to somebody like Nick. And he's really stupid.
Yeah, but he should be able to read already. Nick's going to set traps. Like, he's already told you right now. He just trapped you in something. And this will get worse.
Right.
Because isn't this the same stream where the charity stuff comes up?
Yeah.
See, right away, Eric should be taking a read that he can't hang with Nick in an aggressive conversation and stop lunging at him so much.
He doesn't have that. He never gets that read.
Well, what does it matter, man? Like, what does it matter what he fucking said per word? Like, why do you need Nick to say that out loud? Like that? This is fucking weird.
Yeah. Like, what do you think? Like, well, exactly what? Like, how did that conversation go? And Nick's like, exactly how a conversation you would imagine a conversation with Dick Masterson would go when I'm telling him what he should do. And Nick and Eric's like, well, how is that? I don't know. You spell it out. It's like, I think he kind of did. What he's trying to say is that Dick Masterson does his own thing and he defies, even his friends who give him advice. Like he just kind of will do his own thing if it's funnier or if he thinks he's right. And that's who Dick Masterson is. He's just a master troll. Saying, could you just be nice to him is not going to work on Dick Masterson.
Oh, yeah. What would you call this? Situational awareness that Eric doesn't have right now?
Yeah, I think Eric is so used to people bending for him that he thinks that he can flim-flam. And also Eric's got this line of just like meaningless gibberish that is kind of punctuated with a subtle threat that he thinks is going to work on Nick Rekieta. And it doesn't work on Nick because Nick is used to listening like he's a lawyer. So this was like I said, like this was, it's sad how quickly Nick fell after this moment. And his face changed and everything. And it was really sad because he was so sharp. Like this was really, really good for him. Great moment.
What am I going to do? Like demand? I'm not.
I'm asking you had a conversation with. I don't know what the fuck happened.
Well, to be clear, we may differ on what we think he's in error on, but I have said I wish this shit was over. It's annoying. It fucks up my show, and I hate you for it, you bastard.
Okay, cool.
But
that's fine. Well, again, didn't hear that publicly, which so that's good.
Why
news.
would you?
Dude,
I don't air that shit out in public. Like, why would I do that?
If I thought a friend was in error, I would say, "Hey, man, I don't think that's what it is you should do."
Quick aside, July wanted Nick to publicly call out Dick and said he would tell a friend if he was in error. But he flipped out when Ethan publicly told him he was in error about criticism. Just saying.
Have you pressed your partner on these things and had a conversation like this publicly with him? As far as all the claims it is that he's made and all the things it is that he said, have you asked him about any of that stuff and really got to the nitty-gritty on that?
No, he didn't ask me.
Okay, so you've never done that. All right, so go ahead and ask me what questions you have pertaining to the charity.
To be fair, I hadn't done it with you until you came into my chat on my show after calling me out in fucking public, lying about what I've said.
What did I lie about? Hold on, wait,
buddy. You don't want to get into this right now.
What did I lie about?
You've said this entire time that I've been dishonest and non-objective.
I said that you weren't
not as objective as I thought.
That's what I said, and never once did I say it was because of you saying those.
I will humbly suggest you do not know the definition of the word objective. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not accusing you. You did enter the fray with Dick, right?
I guess
by back and forth with him by responding, by
responding to a review,
okay,
what?
So am I never allowed to suggest?
No, stop! Don't try to set it as if this is I am demanding or demanding that Nick Rekieta do X. That's not what it is that I'm saying.
You claimed I wasn't objective. I'm trying to find out how I would have been objective.
So how you would have been objective is you would have went, instead of trying to play that card, I believe, and I could be wrong, maybe that's a cultural thing. You would have went directly to the person that was the initiating party that kept this bullshit going on and would have addressed it with them if you really did not want this gay shit to actually be a thing.
This gay shit. This gay shit. I hate Eric so much. Eric, nobody cared that much about you. It's like that. Yeah. If you really cared, you'd go to your friends and say, stop. Nobody cared, to be honest with you. We thought it was kind of mildly entertaining.
He actually did demand Nick to tell him what was said in private between him and Dick.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And he's like, well, I'm not making you. He's like, you are. He's like, can you imagine this guy on YouTube, right? He's like, I'm going to make a comic, about a black guy landing on a car. And I want everybody in YouTube land to ride or die with me. You're either for me or you're my enemy. And it's like, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
But that's this dude came out swinging.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow. Like, there was nowhere in the world where this book was going to be criticized. And it's weird too, because I don't know, man. Did you expect your first comic to be the best comic in the world?
No, of course not. No, not at all. But I did react poorly to criticism at first with Cyberfrog 1 from Holy Heroes, because I remember there was somebody who wrote a really scathing review of it, and I was like defensive about it. I wanted to counter their points, but I was 20 years old. You know what I mean? Like, I was a kid. There was a big difference between how I behave as a child, who is still very fragile, versus how a man of this person's age, who's been on the internet, parrying, and sort of dodging criticisms and things like that for 20 years, is supposed to respond to criticism of his comic. But it wasn't that. It was... Nick's not even talking about, and I wasn't even necessarily talking about his comic book criticism. I'm criticizing his behavior, because Eric has to have this aura about him in order to sell comics. And if you're going to criticize his comics, then essentially you're criticizing his aura. He truly doesn't care about art. He cares about being a YouTuber. He cares about how you look at him. You're supposed to look at him a certain way. And if you're making fun of him and blaming him and pointing out where he's wrong about certain things, he reacts to that violently, a lot more so than when you criticize his comic book. He's not precious about his work. Indeed, I don't even know how much of Ice on #1 he actually wrote. A lot of it, I think, is Caro Brown. So
sure. But he is not able to separate the comic from himself. Like, you have to agree on that. Anything aimed at the comic is a personal attack at him. Like, it's after looking at this stuff backwards, it's very obvious. Like, you can't shit on that book without him taking it like you're shitting on him. It's a slap in his face. I don't understand that part of Eric at all in this, because to be that invested in this book, I just don't see that investment when I flip through it. Like, what I've read of it, I don't see that type of investment of his soul or in any idea in this book. I don't see anything worth getting defensive about.
No, and I think it's also about money too. Like, if you're criticizing his books, then you're literally taking money from him. You're preventing money possibly from coming his way. So, it's he's from a whole different planet than us. Another.
Because I believed you.
Because I didn't do it in public, though.
Yeah, because now news to me. You said that you talked to him. You talked to him privately. That was news to me. I never knew that.
I know you didn't know that. I didn't tell you.
Okay, so I'll accept that that's what it is that you did, and now I have new information.
Imagine this is your
am I
boss.
objective now?
Yeah, you're more objective than I gave you credit for. Then
am I objective or am I more objective?
More objective than you gave yourself. Than I gave you credit for. Let's be more.
But I'm not at objective yet.
No, I don't believe that you're.
Why was Nick pushing so hard about objectiveness? Because Mr. July was saying stuff like this in the days beforehand.
He went around pretending to be impartial about some shit, and we always knew Nick Recator was not impartial. And we don't have the same laws, particularly surrounding private businesses and fucking other places. Like, the fact that this sits up here and tried to play this whole impartial shit for as long as he did was so extremely disingenuous. We know where you at, and I wish you were just honest. And other than to be a weird person to try to fuck with someone's business, and then he brags about it, and Nick Recator plays the whole ignorant thing. Oh, I don't know what's going. I haven't seen enough. Like, quit fronting, man. Just say that's my partner. I can't be impartial, and I'm gonna back him. I'd be perfectly good about that, because that's what bros do. Bros back their bros. What I don't like is that he's like, I'm trying to play it right down the middle. No, you're not. Really disappointed in that man. Really fucking disappointed in him.
You're like, this guy, this is the other thing I hate about YouTubers. You're a big shot and a loudmouth now. Like, Nick Arcada made you his bitch the previous night. You wake up the next day, you realize he made you a bitch, and now you're screaming at, your audience and sitting there like, I'm really disappointed in that man. But a psychologist should look at this. But really, it's just a fucking, whatever.
Fortunate, like I say, it's no love lost there, but I am disappointed in him because, like I said, I've been kind of silent about this whole impartial shit that he's not been playing. That's fucking foul.
Foul. Impartial.
That shit, and it's corny as fuck too.
It's corny as fuck.
Now here is where it ties into Ethan's possible motivation for revealing the so-called night letter. The day after July crashed Rakita's stream, Dick Masterson appeared on Rakita's show. Nick says something that Ethan probably found very upsetting.
The greatest thing I can do is not talk at all. And I tried for months. One person kept bringing me up, and that was you. You didn't need to. You were behind the scenes. By the way, I've known for months, Eric. When I said the mask was slipping, it's because I already knew that I was on your detractor list like a get DSP flailing in the wind. You got a detractor list, you beta bitch. Oh, these people don't like me enough. I hope Geeks and Gamers and Friday Night Tights will cover for you. And by the way, if they blacklist me forever, good. I don't fucking care. The crazy thing, Eric, is I know who else you blacklisted. I know who else didn't defend you hard enough. You think going against me is shitty? I'm not even in the goddamn community. I'm a lawyer who has talked to ComicsGate people. The shit you've said about other people, I hope it never comes out, brother.
I know who else you blacklist. I know who else didn't defend you hard enough. Ethan continued to defend the Rippaverse until just days before he revealed the so-called night letter text. But Ethan must have wondered if he had found himself on Mr. July's secret detractor list. And even after the reveal, Ethan tried to remain conciliatory.
Thank you. Like I was saying, those of you who are upset and all this stuff and think I'm a jerk and a dickhead and, oh, he's lying and all this stuff, fine. I understand. I apologize to you guys because you're the customers. So if I let you down, I'm really sorry. I am truly sorry to you guys, and I hope you will forgive me for that. But I can't explain it. It was like a stone in my shoe, okay? And I had to talk about it, especially with the way things are going lately. So, have some sympathy at least and try to understand.
Keeping the text secret was like a stone in my shoe. Why did this bother Ethan so much? To understand this, we need to go back to the very beginning of Ethan's cancellation at DC Comics. Before ComicsGate was even an organized group, when President Trump first ran for office in 2015, comic professionals were wishing harm on the at the time presidential hopeful and telling his supporters that they were not welcome in the hobby. And Ethan was one of the few publicly conservative comic creators. Ethan was told that to keep his job with DC, he had to stop advocating for Trump and shut down his YouTube channel. In order to preserve his own free speech abilities, Ethan left DC and started working on his own book, Cyberfrog. In fact, in the very same stream that Mr.
I was exited from DC. I was put on the phone. Shane, I got on the phone with poor Larry Gannum, was tasked with his job was to fire me. And poor Larry's been a family friend forever. He still checks in and goes, how's Hunter? How's everything going? But I remember February 2nd, and it was building to this. And I was like, I don't know what to do. This is getting worse and worse. And Larry's like, just stay cool. We're working on it. We're trying to figure out how this is going to go. And then, Larry calls up and he goes, this is the call I didn't want to have to make, man. And I was like, oh shit. And I could hear, I remember this vividly. I heard a scotch glass and ice cubes hit it and a drink being poured. And I was like, I heard him take a deep gulp of maybe a shot of whiskey or something. and he's just like, we're not going to renew your contract at DC. And he's just like, yeah. And I was just like, oh my God. I was like, what are we going to do? Like, he's like, well, he's like, I got to tell you, he's like, we're going to allow you to finish 3 or 4, I can't remember what, more issues of Green Lantern. And he said, that's like $60,000. And so you have to finish those before October, because October your contract ends. And I said, yeah, but I'm exclusive until October. And if I finish those quicker, like, shouldn't you give me more work? And he goes, we don't have to give you any work. He's like, your contract just says that you're exclusive. We're willing to let you go, so you can start looking for more work now, elsewhere. But yeah, we're going to let you do these next 3 or 4 issues of Hal Jordan. And he goes, man, I'm truly, truly sorry for all this. And he was like crying on the phone with me. And it was really touching, and I was terrified. And then I called Dan DiDio. I said, can I have a conversation with you? Do you owe me that at least? And he called me from home, and we had this conversation. And he said a couple of things. First of all, I said, you're not going to believe like what caused. It's like there's this whole underground group of like a whisper network of SJWs that organized to slime me as a white supremacist. And it was coordinated, and I don't even. And Dan goes, Ethan, you wouldn't believe what we're aware of. He's like, we know all this stuff, and I was just like shocked by it. I still was so naive about SJWs, I said, and he said, listen, I want you to know another thing. An order is going to go out that nobody who's working for DC Comics is allowed to discuss you in any way. They're not allowed to say anything about you. It is a fireable offense. So if anybody is out there publicly gossiping about you or talking about you in any way, they will lose their position at DC Comics. So he's like, that's what we're going to do for you. And he's like, you can create your own narrative. If you want to say you're leaving, that's cool. We will support you in that, which is what that article was. And that's what I did. And I didn't want to give SJWs a win. I didn't want them to know that they had won. So it was, I'm going to do Cyberfrog, and I'm leaving on my own. But DC needs me before I go to do these 3 more Green Lantern books. And that was one of like the big lies that, early on when SJWs were kicking our fucking asses in 2018. Like, that's one of the lies that I felt like I had to tell. I wasn't fired because I couldn't let them say that. I couldn't let them have my scalp, but they'd never stop. They'd never stop coming after conservatives. And so if they knew they could do that. And the other thing was Richard C. Meyer lying and saying that like Kickstarter didn't, reject his Jawbreakers. He said, we just decided Indiegogo was better, but that got revealed when kind of a 2-timing ComicsGater turned over the documents to Richard Pace, and that got spread all over that they had the power to blacklist us from Kickstarter. So just make no mistake, that's actually what happened, and it was terrifying. And I remember saying things like, we're just going to do a crowdfund of Cyberfrog and hope that the fans grab us, because we're definitely plummeting to earth. And they did. We made like $538,000 on Cyberfrog 1, and it seemed like everything was going to be okay. But it was terrifying, absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. Just everything, like not just you, but just like how everybody was starting to turn, and everybody wanted to support Kamala. Not Kamala, but what is Miss Marvel? Like the little Muslim girl, like that. What's her name? Kamala
Khan, Ms. Marvel.
Kamala Khan, yeah, okay. I almost said Kamala Harris. Kamala Khan. Anyways, it just flipped overnight. Like it really flipped overnight. Everybody's like, oh, this little Muslim girl comic is real important. I was like, wait, why? Like, because of representation. I'm like, we have to, and Richard Meyer is making fun of it. And it's like, what? Why does it matter? It's stupid. She's got big fists. It's stupid. It's
a bad character.
Character. It's like, no. She's very important. Why? She's Muslim. Okay. it was like the worst conversations with these people about that character. But I remember when that article you were referring to saying that you were going to go do Cyberfrog came out. I remember reading that. I was like, huh. And I was like, And then I remember somebody like Jimmy Palmiotti's like, yeah, Ethan, just do whatever's going to really make you happy. And I'm like, I don't
remember anyone saying anything supportive to me at all. Like, I remember just, and I really like, that's where I kind of began being like, I have to jab these people every chance I get. So that article was like, well, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm finally going to go make some money. Okay. It's time for me to get rich. And I'm going to do it on Cyberfrog. And oh man, the fucking feedback I got from that, boom, blew my hair. It's like, oh, he's going to get rich, is he? Oh, fucking doing Cyberfrog, doing it. Jesus Christ. And then Cyberfrog raised 500. We'd never seen that kind of money before, ever. And not even close working at DC.
Well, it didn't make sense when people gave you that attitude, because it's not like, it's not like there hadn't been a history of, prolific comic book artists going out there with their character and becoming rich, like Mike Mignola or Joe Madureira with Battle Chasers.
Yeah, but they had the support of the industry, and it was clear that Cyberfrog's an uphill battle. If Cyberfrog ever becomes a movie or a video game, it's going to happen after I'm dead. It's not going to happen in my lifetime. It just isn't. I'm glad that I got to see the toys. The fans helped me make the toys. But it's really important that in my lifetime, I create this document of like the Cyberfrog story, because I'm going to hand it off to my kids. And someday, if it's ever going to be a movie or anything like that, I got to get it distributed through the mainstream. And then somebody's going to have to negotiate with an adult, Hunter and Ava and Kaylee to make the movie. It cannot happen in my lifetime. It won't. There will be people who will rise up and the world has to change before this can be made into any kind of media. So the work of crowdfunding, the work of creating Cyberfrog 1 through 4, which is, an allegory for what we're talking about here, like a world that's been taken over by this pestilence and a hostile world, and standing up against that. And Cyberfrog is very much my story, the story of my career, but secretly coded underneath a really fun kind of superhero survival story. So an alien invasion story. So like I'm aware of that. It's like the idea of Mike Mignola getting rich from Hellboy. Yeah, he's got the support of the entire industry to make that happen, and Dark Horse and the mainstream. I don't have anything close to that. So we are literal comic book outlaws here, making our comic books in spite of, just tremendous odds. And we forget it sometimes because we're in this community. We're fighting with retards like a Lasmat.
Oh, no, I never forget it. I was thinking about it today in the car, oddly enough. I think like that Dungeoneer documentary is a good reminder.
We're going to do some more Lasmat documentaries, I guess. She's got a bunch of them. I'll watch them.
Yeah. That's the thing with retards. They never know to shut up. Lasmat. Yeah. No, but that documentary really kind of underscored like people trying to cancel people in little back rooms and stuff, and resentment of creators. And like it's not even about politics. It's like if they just want you out of the way, like let's build a narrative, and then all work together to push that narrative and try to get, I don't know, whoever, Ethan on tape, Mandy Summers, let's get this, let's go at Shane, let's go at John. Never heard my name brought up so much for talking about the Dungeoneers, but not one soundbite of me talking about the Dungeoneers.
Yeah, there's not really a lot in there about you.
Yeah,
let's finish this up. Let's finish this documentary up, and then we're gonna get back to it because we're almost done here. I think I might do, because I got some time here. We might look at another Lasmat documentary. I kind of feel like it and seeing what this guy's been saying. What a shithead.
July 1st, super chatted Ethan, the one we watched the clip of earlier. Ethan described how important his free expression was to him.
Was it worth it? Like, was what worth it? Being myself? Like, I am who I am, and so what do you mean, was it worth it? I guess it is. And like I said, Mark Wade's the one good thing that Mark Wade ever said to me there is no price. You can't put a price on me speaking my mind. That is the most important thing to me. So yeah, you know, it is worth it. Whatever happens to me.
The night letter text may have caused Ethan so much consternation, it may have sent him to the hospital. Now, Ethan hasn't said that this text contributed to this.
That was the
Ethan
same
was
time.
dealing with a lot at the time, but the timing is very circumspect.
Wow.
The night letter text was sent on August 10th, 2023. On August 13th, Ethan went to the emergency room with fears he was having a heart attack.
About 4 days ago, I started to have chest pains right here. You know, when you pledge allegiance to the flag, you put your hand right here. And the reason why you do that is because this is where your heart is. Where did that go? And so I started to have pains. And then 2 days ago, I cycled through clothing so much. Like, I buy a lot of clothes. And whenever I'm watching my old videos, I go, where did that shirt go? I like that shirt. And then I go, thank God that shirt's gone. That's really nice. I think that got ruined. I think paint or ink got on that. So that sucks.
To notice the numbness in my left arm. And I thought, oh no, not this. And I was worried about it, but I just thought, what the hell? Like, why would I be stricken with these things? And I told Andrea about it, and she got very concerned. And I was kind of like, I'm okay. Listen, I'm okay. And she was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm okay. I'm fine. But then this morning, sitting around the swimming pool, it had like a particularly kind of rough night where I just woke up and she's like, how's your chest feeling? And I was like, it's not feeling better at all. And this was happening at the same time that the Dungeoneers thing was happening. This was happening simultaneously with the lunch with PTP. Because do you remember like PTP telling the Dungeoneers like Ethan had some kind of a panic attack, last night.
Oh, yeah.
In the dungeon, this was all happening at the same time. A bunch of retards swarming together and just causing me tremendous stress all at once. Weird. I was like, I think I'm going to go to the hospital.
What if they had a voodoo doll taking a needle and poking it in the chest?
Yeah, I mean, they could have done that. Could have been the thing. I always see these things as like, it's funny, like the Dungeoneers thing and the Eric July thing exist on two separate planes, two separate sheets of paper. I don't realize that they're on top of each other. They were happening both at the same time. Yeah, that was.
I totally forgot till me and Yanzi were talking about it. But at the end of the Dungeoneer room, like the files, like Eric July's in there promising them all a lot of work.
Yeah. That's right. At the same
time, I totally forget about that. I mean, Lazmat's not putting that in the documentary, of course, but
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, like me in the hospital room, maybe having a heart attack, sort of made Yellow Flash laugh. Like it made these guys just chuckle, like ha 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 ha. Like Ethan's gonna die. Like they're so.
Well,
happy
in all
about
honesty, me and John were laughing at you.
Well, that was funny though. Yeah.
I mean, we were all. I mean, what you want us to do? Cry?
Yes. Of course. Have you heard the news? Dewey Cox died. Yeah, I totally want that. I'm going to go to the ER. Immediately, a nurse comes over and drags me over to triage and hooks me up to a machine. They were just like, yeah, you're fine. You're not having a heart attack. I was crying. I started to cry. I actually started to cry. Like weeping. I was so like relieved by that. They're like, no, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. But go sit over there. We're going to take you in the back and we're going to run a series of tests. So
did the night letter make Ethan feel like he was right back in the situation he was at DC when he couldn't speak freely? Was it the final straw that pushed him into a stress-induced panic attack? I'm not qualified to answer that question. And I'm a little nervous even making the connection. But the timing is very interesting.
I think it was...
I believe it did. Because things like that, like even on a subconscious level, like you'll start to your body will start reacting to stress. Like it just will, a reminder of. So if you went through a trauma before, which that the whole thing with DC would have been like, mind bending, altering shit for you. Like your body, any type of hint of that occurring again, your body's going to just react, whether you want to or not. You might be trying to go, it's not a big deal. It's just fucking Eric July. It's going to cook up old feelings on the subconscious level that you can't control.
Well, the DC stuff, like when I was being canceled, I felt like my skin was crawling all the time. That's high blood pressure. Like I felt a kind of stress that I'd never felt before, and I guess it's what people call anxiety, where I could feel my arms felt hot, my hands felt hot, and I felt like shivers up my back all the time. Like I was never safe. I was never safe. I was always in trouble, always on the verge of trouble. And I remember feeling that kind of anxiety almost every day through ComicsGate. So people talk about how wonderful 2017 through 2019 was. Those people were not actually engaged in what ComicsGate was, the actual conflict. It was fucking terrifying, absolutely terrifying. For me, for Zach, you want to know why Zach has gone away? Like it was worse for him than it was for me. Like, at least I'm a public figure and everything. People already know who I am. He had things to hide about his family and his kids. He was being threatened in ways that haven't even been revealed yet publicly. He needed to just get away from this shit just to live a normal life again and just feel like a normal person. But yeah, that stress, that wasn't this. I actually had like a pain, like a kind of sharp pain here, which turned out was just gas bubbles, Shane. It was just gas bubbles. And they have not come back, fortunately. Well, I don't think it was a panic attack. I didn't go, I didn't do that. It wasn't like
that's
that.
Not how
was,
panic attacks sometimes happen. I mean, that's hyperventilating. That's not a panic attack. I mean, hyperventilation is a side effect of a panic attack, but panic attack can just be a sudden shock to the system, especially if it's a reoccurring.
It was a consistent thing where I would wake up and go, God, and I'd hit myself like this, like pop. Like I'd feel like it was actual like gas bubbles, and I would do this to my chest. And finally, Andrea, and I don't know what a heart attack is, so I've never had one. I'm terrified of it, but I've never had one, and so it's got to be pretty awful. But Andrea was just like, go to the hospital. I'm like. And I thought, what an asshole that I haven't gone to the hospital yet. So I drove myself to the ER, and Andrew stayed home with Ava, and just said, can I get checked out for this? Like, I'm wondering if I'm having a heart attack. I don't know. And they're like, yeah, you're wondering that, are you?
Better safe than sorry. Better get that checked. Ryan Blue Thunder asked a good question in the chat. He wants to know, were there ducks in the pool?
There are no ducks in the pool. There are frogs in the pool, in my case. I'm always rescuing frogs.
You get the reference, though. Of course.
Yeah, of course I do. Sopranos.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And finally, we have to ask if Ethan's apprehension was justified. I'm sure Ethan totally overreacted, and Mr. July was completely professional, right? But before we get to that, allow me to introduce the Rippapotamus Keshi art toy, hand-sculpted by me, molded and cast in durable synthetic rubber.
You're Ashmatar. You are the man.
Collectible because I make them all myself. And an extra special bonus includes the first docu-mold trading card. Be great and order today. How did Eric July react to the so-called night letter being made public? Not well. July is a bit more reasonable in his tweeted response. He denies it was a threat and promises not to sling mud. But then his live show happened.
When I am direct with somebody, they trip out. Oh, he's threatening somebody. Oh, night letters. He's threatening because I'm direct with you. You're almost 50. No, these is 50 years old acting like women. And the first thing you do, I got problems. I'm gonna send out a fucking tweet. I'm gonna let them know. Hey, let me get my gang of fucking gay ass Negroes. Let's fire up a stream and start talking about him. Oh, sure, I got his number. I got problems with him, but I'm not gonna call him. You're a fucking maggot if that's your approach. But you act like bitches.
Ethan's fears about unleashing influencers seem to be spot on. Several big YouTubers that used to be friendly with ComicsGate.
What? I'm sorry.
Hands down, you'll never have a better enemy than that version of Eric July.
That was fantastic. What an outburst.
Version of Eric July. That version of Eric July. That's your Legion of Doom Hall of Fame right there.
It's incredible. I mean, that outburst, like, first of all, like, he refused to see that it was a threat. And I had to explain to him, Eric, this is a threat. This is you saying, because he's like, I don't see it as a threat. Okay, well, you're stupid. Let me explain why it's a threat. Okay, or you're pretending to be stupid. You're saying, stop doing this, or I'm going to allow this to happen to you. Okay, that is literally a mafia threat. That is how the mafia threatens people. They go, if you don't stop doing this or do this, if you don't take this action in some way, then we're going to allow bad things to happen to you. And when they say allow, that could mean, you know, we're going to stop. We're going to stop protecting you in some way, which means we're going to allow people, you know, we're going to let people hurt you. And that's exactly what that was. And he's like, I don't see it that way. I'm like, I don't know how else to see it, Eric. You know, I grew up here. I understand like how this shit occurs. So Eric's whole thing was, you have my number. You can call me if you feel this way. We had a conversation about it. We got nowhere. We got to the point where it was like, I said, it would be bad for both of us if we were at war together. And that's why I'm going to, you know, keep my mouth quiet about this. But I mean, it's just like, at some point, it's like, I can't anymore. Like, this goes against my principles, protecting this clown, this jackass. And he goes, you still got my number? No, it's going to result in, we had this conversation already. You know, I'm not here to talk and bargain with you. There's no bargain to be had with you. You know, there's no situation where you're going to agree to let me just say whatever I want to say. You know, as an adult, 50-year-old man, say whatever I want to say because I feel like I've earned that right without you imposing consequences on me or letting me know that that's going to happen. You're going to make my life more difficult than it already is. So fuck you. I'm going to just come out and be direct and I guess let the chips fall where they may, which is what happened.
Probably like right after he started kind of getting this edginess of like he's the shot caller around here type thing. Like, I don't know. I got some vibe from NDA Andrew and something else like about doing more work. And I'm like, no, I'm not. You know, and even Eric was like, yeah. You know, all live on air. Won't you do some more with it? I'm like, well, no, I'm not. Like, it just seemed like I kind of wonder, like, in his head before the wheels fell off of the, like, ComicsGate for him, like, where, like, what was the plan? Like, was it eventually we're all drawing his books? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
I think everybody was going to work for him because that's like what he said. That's what one of his guys said to me. Like, when one of these guys said there could be something in this for you, you know, down the road.
Oh.
And I was just like, and not a cover. I mean, I'd already agreed to do the cover. So it was something bigger than that, I guess. And I was like, so you're aware I have my own little company here, my own publishing business. So Cyberfrog makes millions of dollars, right? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm going to work for you? Like, how do you see that happening? And the only way that would happen is if All Caps Comics basically folded and I worked full time for Eric, which I do think was his plan. Everybody works for Eric, you know, and he does business. So, that wasn't going to happen, you know. And again, it's just another insult. It's just a fucking like ignorant, stupid insult. And talking to somebody like, here's Az saying, because he's a weird, jealous, egotistical, self-destructive fool. I mean, weird is true. Jealous, I'm not jealous of Eric. Stop it. Egotistical, yes. And bear that in mind when you talk to me. You know, understand that, I have an ego. So does Shane. All creative people, actual creative people who've accomplished something do. And we're aware of our own value and our own worth. And my self-worth is not delusional. I understand I'm really, really good at what I do. I'm pretty sharp. And I'm a good storyteller, a good idea man. So ego, I do have that. So when you talk to me, approach me with that in mind. If you think you're going to insult me and tell me that I don't really matter and all of these things, or I think I'm more important than I am, you are automatically going to make an enemy of me. That's going to happen. I'm going to react to that a certain way, as anybody who is a creative person who's accomplished something is going to do. Self-destructive, maybe. Fool, aren't we all? As like immediately like, why didn't Ethan just fall in line and eat this shit? It's like because of this thing right here, egotistical, which comes with self-worth, value. I understand that I'm way better than you guys.
If I remember this timeline, right before you came out with those DMs is when Eric did that Business of Comics video. I think either the first one or second one, where he was basically just taking aim at crowdfunders.
Yeah.
And that's when I had an issue, and it was right before you kind of fell out with him, and it was that fucking video. I was just like, like this guy, like, you know, this is the ultimate, like, Order 66. Like, that's the way it was always going to be.
When I said to him, like, if we were at war together, it wouldn't be good. What I was saying was good for you. It would not be good for you. I was aware when I said that to him that I would win a fight against, you know, ComicsGate against Rippaverse. We would win. We would carry the day, but we would be damaged by it. We would be wounded by it, and it wouldn't be good for business. But then, as it turns out, it was necessary for business. It was vital for business long term that we go against Rippaverse, because their plan, Eric's plan, was to wipe us out. It was to destroy ComicsGate and make us all work for him, essentially. That was his plan, and have us all be willing and happy to have Eric be the king of comics, etc., etc. And some people just didn't want to go along with that. Some people weren't happy with that, and especially with his behavior being the way that it was. You know, I mean, I could imagine a world where, Eric July comes in and just does amazing things, and you know, kind of is ComicsGate, and then sets up a big company. We all eventually go to work for him because he's just. Can I imagine a world like that? A completely different human being. Maybe I could. Maybe I could imagine something like that happening, but definitely not under these circumstances, and not with the person that Eric July actually is. So yeah, it's too bad.
Well, the only reason we would have been doing that is if, like, we could have pulled some of that heat back onto our project, but then that would call it. He would have to, you know, set a nice table, like have a nice comic universe, have a popular.
Well, Rippaverse would have to be huge, and he would have to go. I want to buy 9 lives. I want to add you to my. You know, Rippaverse would have to be at this point making tens of millions of dollars. And him being like, well, I want to add 9 lives to the Rippaverse. How do we do that? And then he negotiates with you so that, like,
I'd sell him 8 lives.
8 out of 9.
I'll give you 8 out of 9 and I'm keeping 1.
I mean, I'm imagining, like, Eric being like a completely different person and just being like, you know, humble, but a really good businessman who respected creative people and respected comics and wanted to learn, was doing his own comic, and it was okay, but, you know, he had a lot to learn. But really, he wanted to unify the indie comic space and do it in a way that respected the creative people individually and what they built individually. And if that had happened, I think we could have maintained Rippaverse's success. A little bit. If ComicsGate had stuck with him, we could have maintained his success in that world. You know, as in Friday Night Tights and all this stuff, we would have been okay. They wanted to destroy us. These are egomaniacs, okay, who have not earned their ego. Egomaniacs who have not earned that ego. Small, petty, destructive individuals. And not self-destructive. That happens anyway, but destructive. And they saw, when they saw, like, we see the money that ComicsGate's making, they wanted it. They looked at it and they wanted it. So it could have gone differently. I imagine another universe where things could have worked out in a better way, but it just Eric is too stupid.
It was never going to work out. I knew it was never going to work out.
Yeah.
From the get-go, I did. I honestly did. I that's why I kind of shot him down when he wanted me to draw for him, like a book. Because, like, a lot of these guys were never going to have anything but seethe and resentment the second they put their book out. Like, the minute that they put something out there to be judged rather than be a critic, I knew they were always going to have a type of snappy attitude about it or something. It would always be a mess. And that then they would resent people who are more talented than them. Doesn't matter if they're making more money. They don't know what the hell they're doing, and they're YouTubers. They expect instant gratification. They expect instant views on hot topics that really aren't even their content. They're just reading an article. I mean, once you really think of that type of mindset of a person, and then they're gonna now be a comic book artist. Why? Because I just have 1 million subs.
Yeah.
They're just gonna hate you. They're just gonna hate you if they can't put out anything good. Even it doesn't even matter if they make millions more than you.
Yeah. People like Eric July brought us tea, says Eric DeBonks. People saying that Shane would just give Eric July the finger. No. There are circumstances in which, I mean, they're long shots. Like we're saying Eric July's Rippaverse works in tandem with ComicsGate, and the indie community doesn't fracture, and we all work together. And we're friends with Eric, and we recognize that he's just got way more connections than we have. So we're promoting him, and he's promoting us in return, and we're all growing together. But his Rippaverse grows to the point where he's making $10 million a comic now, okay? And he's still doing 2-3 books a year, but he's bringing in all this money, and then he goes, I want to add you guys. And he makes us a financial offer that is just undeniable. We have to just kind of go, yeah, okay. And we still get to work on our stuff, and we're still making money and all this stuff, but we're all under one single umbrella. I can picture it happening. It's a crazy long shot. It's an imaginary story, but I think everything. I think it could have happened. I think it's possible.
Yeah, but he would have had to have put out something of that would sustain interest, have a better attitude about getting better, taking criticism. That not his first book is going to be a home run. I think the money went to his head right away. And that
the money made him Michael Jordan. He saw himself as Michael Jordan, right away. And it's like, I said, don't compare yourself to Michael Jordan.
What if Isom only raised $500,000, right? Would we have gotten a different Eric July? Would his attitude have been a lot different, more humble, less screaming?
Oh my God! If Isom #1 had only made $100,000, in profit? Yeah, he would have been a completely different, more humble guy.
Even $500,000. I'm saying $500,000. I think his attitude. I think his attitude. I don't know. I almost made a Rob Liefeld reference there, but I don't want to. It's like if somebody hits the end, if they just blow up overnight, the first thing they do, chances are they're really not going to grow because they met such high success. It's at such a low effort. Why are they going to try? It can actually become a curse being an overnight success.
Yeah. Clearly I'm doing everything right. And you're the guy who worked hard to get where you are, sucker. You know what I mean? Why should I listen to you? All I did was just shit out a comic book and hire a Brazilian to draw it. And I made $3.7 million. So let me teach you a thing or two about making comics. And that was where Eric July was coming from. But it could have been different. It could have been a different story. I wish that it had been. I wish that things worked out the way that I think we wanted them to work out way back when in this document. By the way, somebody points out, this is how a documentary is made, Lazmat. You know what I mean? It's just actually showing the facts, showing both sides of the story here about it.
I'm defending Eric here for some reason. I don't know.
Well, maybe if Eric if everything had happened differently, but Eric is still who Eric is. The problem is Eric. He is a fucking idiot. He's a really low IQ guy. Who has an unearned ego. He hasn't really done anything. He's failed at everything that he's tried, essentially, or succeeded just enough through kind of chicanery. Eric getting on the Billboard charts with Backwards was chicanery. Eric getting on the Billboard charts with, Glorious Death was fucking chicanery. It was all fake. It's all imagery created by, his YouTube fans. Not real success, nothing genuine. And that's who Eric is. It is all chicanery. It's all the illusion of success through social media influencer tricks. So it's the thing is you and I, we had to work for years and years and years and get kicked around when we weren't good enough or when we weren't you put out your first book at DC Comics and it's it's not as good. It's you know, there's work to be done. There's just work to be done to improve, and that's where you gain humility from that moment like on. Like you're good enough to be here, but not for long. So, you know, you're good enough to have gotten your foot in the door, but then you've got to get better quick if you want to hang with us. Like and that's kind of what we were telling Eric. Like, yeah, you're good enough to be here. You made a comic book, but if you want to hang with us and actual professionals, you're going to have to get better quick. And Eric was basically like, fuck you. I made $3.7 million. What do I need you guys for? And it's like, ooh.
I'm misremembering, but it's basically like kind of like a type of, you know, thank my competitor for making me who I am. You know, like if you're competitive, like basically everybody at DC, we're pushing one another, right? Because you want to outdraw the guy to the left and right of you all the time, right? And so whenever somebody pulls out a new feathering technique, or I don't know, new paneling or something's hot, everybody's like, I got to outdo that. And there was at a point in the American comics, just, you know, I would say during the 2000s and the 90s, obviously, where people were really pushing one another to become better artists. And it doesn't work like that here. I don't know why. Instead, in this sphere, like it seems the opposite. People aren't like trying to outdo one another. They're just trying to outtalk one another.
Yeah, I think that's true.
They're like trying to talk you down to their retard level. And it's like, dude, just what's on paper. That's it. No. It's what I can out debate. It's like, no, it's what's on paper. It's like, if you can't put it on paper, then shut the fuck up. Like, it doesn't matter how much you can talk about it if you can't execute. And that's the YouTube space. I mean, if YouTube comics, it really is. And I believe it or not, I see a lot of that in the Dungeoneers after watching that documentary. Everything's about reframing shit. Everything's about, well, this person's this person's that. It's like, but what can you do on paper?
We got to see that Mandy video that she privated. God damn it. You guys are making these videos and you're privating them.
They're hiding them from you.
Yes.
Suddenly weren't. And, unsurprisingly, most of July's fans started attacking Ethan and ComicsGate. But the biggest betrayal was a man who goes by Yellow Flash. He was a longtime comic skater and a staunch supporter of Ethan. After the falling out, Yellow Flash betrayed Ethan and ComicsGate, even going so far as to delete the ComicsGate Twitter community room. It was after Yellow Flash's backstabbing that Ethan began the TRASHCAST show to strike back and give his side of events. And now you know how the war between ComicsGate and
look at my black beard.
Ethan Van Sciver and Eric July started.
Who drew that caricature? Is that you, Eric? Who drew that? Get a Rippaverse figure. I gotta get it. Eric Huffles is the guy who makes these, by the way. And he made a bunch of Cyberfrog ones for me. And I sold out of them. He made a whole baggie of them for me just as like a gift. And I think I'll offer these to the fans. Sold out of them. And I wanted to talk to him about doing Salamandroid. But I don't know how like Salamandroid would have to be bigger. And then maybe a Heather Swain or maybe a villain. I don't know.
I don't know. Do you remember? Well, yeah, Rumblebee would be great for this.
Rumblebee.
Like, you know, maybe Shockroach. Yeah, these were like muscle men back in the day. They call them Kichis. Is that what they called them? But I just remember them as muscle men.
Yeah, remember the muscle? They were called muscles. Yeah. They were like M.U.S. We used to collect those as kids. We loved them, and they would come. There was a wrestling ring that you could buy with rubber bands, like for the ropes that you could fling them into each other. Yeah. We bought all of that stuff. We loved it as kids. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that again. So Eric, we gotta talk. Eric Huffles, let's talk about that and get that done. Yeah, I gotta get Mandy Summers and her dirt stream because I had D Artist watch it and she gave me a rundown of it. Do you want to hear what she told me was said? Did you see it, Shane?
No, but I may know about some of this. Like, so go ahead and tell me.
All right, I'm going to read her kind of accounting of this. It was I appreciate this. This was great here. Scrolling backwards here, and we'll see how much of this that you know.
Yeah.
All right, so PTP insisted that Mandy stay an extra day in Tampa so they could take kids to the water park. Last day, he said he didn't invite her and Shane, but all of Dungeoneers are going too, and Mandy felt uncomfortable to have her 13-year-old daughter in a swimming suit surrounded by so many strangers who know who she is there, taking pictures and videos, and said no. PTP was furious and never spoke to her again. One artist told Mandy that PTP had Whitney walking in her underwear behind him while he was on camera with him negotiating a cover. And she's like begging that artist to do it for free while PTP's grabbing her tits. So did you understand that? So PTP's negotiating with an artist to like do a cover for them. And Whitney's walking around in her underwear, like lingerie. And she's like, oh, come on, do it for us for free. And PTP's like grabbing her tits on camera. That's insane if that's true.
Like she showed that video?
No. There isn't a video of it. This is somebody who came to Mandy and said, this is what happened to me. Mandy has been here collecting these stories. And she's like, I have all this dirt on PTP that I've never told anyone before, but I'm going to say it now. And so she did a whole live stream about it. And if the live stream is taken down, but the artist took notes. So I'm reading the notes that she took.
What I can say is there was a PTP. At the time, I didn't realize how much this was a social thing than it was an actual let's make money and sell comics thing. But he did want to go to wherever this con is, or was some theme park or something near it, a water park, I guess. I don't remember if it, and I remember him making it out to be like, let's just stay an extra day and do this. And I'm like, no, I got to drive like 16 hours. I'm like, I'm losing enough time. And he kind of did get kind of pissy, but I maybe I said this with you on stream, maybe you don't remember, but all of this started because he approached me and Mandy to go sit at his table. And I was like, no, I'm just going to go buy my own table. And he kind of got pissy about that. So I mean, I'm probably out of it by here because like I've already pissed on sitting at the Riot Press booth. You know, I just said, I'll go get my own table. I'll contact the lady. And I found her name on the website, even though he gave it to me. And then I told him I wasn't going to go to the theme park. You know, I wasn't interested in that. You know, I got like a toddler. I mean,
it's a water park, right? Like water slides.
Yeah. Well,
I know where that is.
I don't remember what it was. It could have been a water park. But just because it's a water park doesn't mean it's not just a water park connected to a Six Flags or something. You know, they all
in Florida. There's a big water slide park in Orlando. And I know where that is because I lived in Orlando for 5 wonderful years. I loved living in Orlando. My idiot ex-wife made me move to Charlotte. She's like, we're going to buy a house. There are too many hurricanes here. They're going to knock our house over. I said, what the fuck? Like, I'd rather be dead in Orlando than alive in Charlotte. No offense to North Carolina. Yeah. Anyway, I loved it there. There's a big water park there, tons of water slides. That's what I'm picturing when people say, you know,
right. Well, the other thing that I can attest to is Mandy did say to me that she didn't want to go to it because she didn't feel good about just random people being around her kids. So like, you know, she was like, I'm opting out of this. It's just weird. And I think Patrick did take that as an insult, if I remember right. Like he kind of got his little passive aggressive attitude about it. So,
well, there's more now. There's more stuff here. More notes from the dirt stream that I wish Mandy did not, because we definitely use this as content. But again, PTP told Mandy that he had to install cameras because Whitney's ex-husband drops by to quote unquote fix things around the house while PTP is not there. Now that is extraordinary. Right there.
I'm gonna refrain from speaking about this. I know more about this, but I'm not gonna talk about it. She's not wrong. She's not wrong.
Okay. All right. She's not wrong. There's more to that. All right. Anyway, the idea, I was saying this at the beginning of the stream. The idea of having your ex-husband come by the house when I'm not there is not happening. Not happening. Early on in my relationship with Andrea, I think I was just dating her at the time. I don't think, was I married? Were we married when I was doing this? When, what's his face would come over to pick up Kaylee, I'd say, you stand right there. Because I mean, there was one time when I came home and he was in our house. Me and Andrea were not home. Kaylee was. And he was sitting on the steps. And I said, what the fuck are you doing in my house? Well, my daughter. No. And we made rules from there. I was like, when you come to get her, you do not come in when I'm not here. And the other thing is, it's like when I am here, you will stand there on the mat by the door. You've lost the privileges of just walking freely around the home at any point. We set up like, fuck that, Shane.
Yeah.
There's fucking one rooster in this house.
You said it. No, it's not what you said, it's how you said it.
It's absolutely pissed off, like absolutely the fucking balls on this guy. You don't do that. There are rules, and that's it. I understand that we're sharing custody here. Get it? I understand. I'm going to do anything I can for KK, but like you are restricted in many different ways. So the idea of I want to just imagine me not being home, and him coming over like, oh, what's the matter? Your pipes need fixing. I brought my wrench. Yeah, I brought my monkey wrench,
Some porn music kicks in.
Yeah, that is you can't allow that shit. And the PTP does allow it and then has to. Like, first of all, if I were to say something to Andrea like, no, that's not okay, like then Andrea would listen to me. I mean, that would be it. I wouldn't have to install cameras to make sure that Andrea is abiding by my rules for a situation like that. You got PTP who doesn't apparently trust his wife to the point where he's got to install cameras to make sure that she's behaving. She wears
a shot collar. I heard she wears a shot collar.
She might, yeah. Dude, if you have to do that, like, here's the thing. Like, you go, it happens once, okay? It happens once, to be fair. Like, I come home and he's sitting on the steps. And Andrew's like, what are you doing here? And it's like, okay, happens once. And that's when we realize rules need to be made. Boundaries need to be enforced here. So, because there's a reality when you're sharing custody of a kid, there's a reality here. We want what's best for her, et cetera, et cetera. I don't even see that happening in this situation. I don't think they're sharing custody of shit, or are they? I don't really know. But here's what I do know. When this guy, when he comes to fix something once, and you find out about it, and you say, that's not cool. This guy is not going to come and be the man around the house while I'm out selling action figures at some convention in New Jersey.
Wow.
Your ex is not going to...
You're always coming home from cons, and you're like, why is she always breaking when I leave?
It's so weird that, like, or no, like, I left, and, like, it's weird that this was broken, and now it's fixed. What happened? I don't know, How come your panties are all over the floor? Yeah, like, you say that once, you go, that's not okay with me. And then, if she does not listen to you, then it's time for counseling, putting it mildly. It's divorce, okay? It is divorce. If you're allowing other men to come in when I'm not home, and I've had to ask you about it more than once, it's divorce. This is not a marriage. This is ridiculous. It's cuckery. Maybe he's aware of it. I don't know. But I mean, that's cuckery. It's ridiculous. You don't do that. That's just not acceptable. Yeah, like you have to install cameras to watch your wife to make sure that she's behaving herself. What the fuck is that? Like, can you imagine? I'm watching Nancy to make sure she's being good.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Anyway, this is just what Mandy is saying.
Yeah.
And the only reason Mandy is saying this is because PTP's out there like mad shit talking Mandy. Let me get a cough drop here real quick. And I mean, that's the only reason why she's saying that.
They're probably going to snap back and forth for a while. I imagine everybody get a bucket of popcorn because this will be a back and forth transaction probably for about the whole entirety of his fucking campaign that's raised like all of $1,200.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, the Book of Enoch. This is not good. Let's take a look and see if it raised any more. Oh, it's all Cyberfrog stuff. Hold on a second. Shane, I'm sorry for my cough. All right, here's the Book of Enoch. Let me refresh it, even though I think Kickstarter automatically refreshes. I got a message from somebody in my community chat responding to my documentary coverage, and they said, I want to thank you for letting me know about PTP's book because I backed it because of you. And I can see that. That's 29 people instead of 28 now.
Yeah.
$60,000. We're almost there. Shane, that is an impossible goal.
The only thing that runs through my head is that I could see a world where at a time I would be on a live stream, I'd be pulling this up, and I'd be like, guys, go over here and back, blah, 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 PTP's next book. And I would just, walk through the tears because he's stuttering and bumbling around. And I'd be like, oh, you can buy this over here. And guys, where else can you get a blah, 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 blah? And I just fucking, and then Dan Frag is like, yelling at me on fucking this is what honestly it's almost worth it, all the Dan Fraga shit, because you never heard the conversation at South Carolina Comic Con. That was before Hero, but I
still don't understand.
If you ever heard these tapes, you'd understand. So
can I hear them in private, or no? You're not going to even let me hear them
because you'll just tell everybody. And honestly,
audience, I want you to know, chat. I would completely tell you. And Shane is 100% right. My loyalty, I love Shane, but ultimately my loyalty is to you, and I would tell you the information.
So Dan's position was like basically like, hey, buddy, Patrick, you guys really didn't get Patrick. You should have done this, and Ethan's really fucked up. So he was filling me out with what's wrong in ComicsGate, and you're better than that. And, seeing if I'll bite. Like, yeah, that is fucked up, Dan. Yeah, fuck Ethan. Yeah. Let me go over here with you and Mike Miller. Like he's basically doing that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And once he doesn't see I'm receptive of that, then he becomes antagonistic. And, well, you owe Patrick. Well, you weren't there for him on the pit omnibus. Well, blah, blah, blah.
We don't owe Patrick shit. Patrick...
No, I know.
Wait, Shane, hold it. You talk to the chat for a second. I have to pee so bad all of a sudden. It's ridiculous. Hang on.
Yeah. All right. Chat, here we are. Weak bladder Van Sciver. He's doing the PP dance. Sudden, it hit him. I imagine he's backed up. He hasn't been able to piss in days, and it just the dam broke, and the little Dutch boy's got his finger in the hole. He's walking to the toilet like a penguin because he's afraid the dam's about to break. That's what I'm Peethan. Yeah, Peethan Van Sciver. Peethan Van Sciver. Comic artist Peethan Van Sciver. Little Dutch boy EVS. Yeah, man. When you gotta go, man. I mean, that's just the way it is. When truck drivers have to go, they can't stop. They just have to piss in milk jugs, and they get these empty water jugs.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like
walking on the side of the road and you're really hot and thirsty, and you think God blessed you with a fresh jug of lemonade.
It ain't.
That's not lemonade. Don't drink that.
Peethan Pants Sciver. That's pretty funny. To be fair, like I get up and actually use the toilet. I'm not peeing in my basement on the floor like the quartering did. All right, hold on a second. The Rippaverse says Super Killers is making more than that over on Fun My Comic. You got to be fucking kidding me. Is that true? That is unbelievable.
No, it is. It probably is. This is pretty bad. I mean, because here's the thing. Well, let me finish this story. So Dan, it's like he didn't do this for Patrick. He didn't do that. All that. Okay, that's fine. I don't care. I don't care. It's almost worth him bitching and moaning on Kings. Everybody go watch that. Tuesday, with the documentary, Patrick's got this magic campaign that is a I guess Bible campaign. I guess with a guy that do action Bible, right? He's the holy day must be Tuesday when Shane's closing down his campaign. So he shoots himself in the foot with there is no time. Tuesday can't be a good day to launch a campaign.
It's an awful day.
It's but he needed to try to take some money. In his fucking head, he was going to take money away from me.
He's so
that's
stupid.
What's crazy about this. That's what's crazy about. But I made the tweet. I said, "Where was Dan at on Tuesday night for PTP? You accusing me of not being there, for the pit omnibus and PTP?
Yeah, where was he?
What was it? Taco Tuesday, Dan? Tuesday night for." What is it? What is it?
Where was he to help promote him?
Was he?
Just here's a little Comic Artist Pro secret for you. Eric Weathers works for me, and Eric Weathers sends out mailers. He makes emailers for me to promote my stuff. And I said, look, I'm paying you to make the mailers. So the mailers need to make money. So they need to be timed at a point where people have money to spend, most likely in the week, and also they need to be pointed towards selling many different items if possible. But that's how this works. And he said, well, I want them to be like Tuesdays and Fridays. I said, nobody has any money on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, you want them to be on the weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So we'll do 2 mailers, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, with pointed. We'll discuss this is what we're selling at this point. And that's how we're going to make money. The idea of launching a comic book campaign on a Tuesday just to spite you is so goddamn stupid. Sunday would have been great. It's a church day. It's the weekend. People just got paid 2 days earlier. Saturday is great. Friday nights are great as well. Tuesday is not a good day.
Not so great. People
they got to go for work.
They blew their money over the weekend.
Angela Straven says, I get paid on Tuesday. Oh, well, maybe, have you backed this? Yeah, maybe you should back Book of Enoch. Just another project that just baffles me. I do not understand it. But when I see it. When I see it, I think it's not that I've been handed situations like this so many times in ComicsGate where the book looks okay. You know what I mean? Sergio Corello is the artist. Patrick is writing it. And Patrick has some artwork attached to it. But I've been handed projects like this where it's we're at $1,256 and then the goal is $60,000. And it's Ethan, you got to help me. And you want to know why the actual truth is, why I ended up in the hospital with stress, panic, possibly. Mm-hmm. It's because of that shit. It's when you're oh man, this person, let's just pretend I care about Patrick and his family. And, and I need his book to succeed. And my job is to talk my audience into getting him to $60,000 from where he is. And I feel it, and I can I don't want to back it. You know what I mean? But it's I had to sit there and promote it and try to talk people into it. And it just wasn't moving quick enough. There were a few people like that. Rob Hunter was like that. Jimmy Reyes was like that, where I'm just stressing because I can sell your stuff easily. I can still sell John's stuff easily. I couldn't get their campaigns to move. I just couldn't get them to move. Nobody, I'd try to do the best pitch that I could, and then I'd refresh it. 0 new backers, and I'd be shit. This is I have nightmares looking at this. I'm really glad that I hate PTP and I don't have to help him. I really appreciate that I'm in a situation where I'm free. Anyway.
I'm going to show you something. Just because you know, I'll get my licks in on Patrick when I can.
Yeah, of course. Why
get
not?
back to my computer here. Let me do a little bit of Googling. Just keep this up. Don't pull it down. I got
Okay. Yeah, trash must not be promoted, in my humble opinion. Yeah, I know. It's like I never really looked at it as trash. I looked at it as the ambitions of young, but future comic book creators. But I don't look at it that way anymore. I just feel like the only people I should really be promoting are professionals or people who do books of a professional quality, and that's it. And no more just like, well, these people have potential. No more of that. It's got to be like, I got to look at it and go, yeah, this fucking rocks, or kick rocks. I just can't.
It rocks or kick rocks.
Yeah, either it rocks or kick rocks.
Or kick rocks.
Either the project rocks or go kick rocks.
I always like want to high five you if I was standing there and be like, yeah, bro, you gotta rock or kick rocks, bro.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I'll read my member chat. Apex Comics. Fembat sold more than Book of Enoch. Backing up on my comic. Thanks for your lively entertainment and information, Ethan and Shane. We've only just begun Apex Comics. Thank you. Josh Mataru says, what if the cameras aren't there to stop it? So in other words, like, they're not there to stop it. He's there to film it, Result Entertainment.
Maybe. I don't really know.
Eric is a case of a dummy pretending to be stupid. Says Josh Matar, and Pete Count said this well-made hit piece shows how retarded Assmat is. Yeah, that was a pretty good video. I guess there's more coming. I guess there's a part 2 or something like that. Eric,
what?
Eric Huffles.
Eric
Huffles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Elasmat, he had 3 hours. I mean, and years. I don't think he's going to get anywhere with a part 2.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, Eric Huffles did a pretty good video there. It was pretty entertaining. I mean, it's stuff that we've seen over and over again, but I actually learned quite a little bit about the timeline from what he just did there, and things get fuzzy and muddy. It's good to get things clarified.
If you looking at Patrick's figure, somebody sent me a clip where he said he was talking to a lot of these Mythic Legion guys in one of his toy hustles. But anyways, the reason I'm bringing it up is a lot of the parts in this are the same parts that his figures are. The pauldrons, the torso. I don't know if Patrick thought he's literally drawing their parts thinking that he can do like a collab and do like a figure with these guys. I know that sounds crazy, but that's how he thinks. So it's like a lot of his figures in that.
His problem though isn't. I understand what you're saying, but his problem isn't that his action figures don't look good. I think that the American Ninja action figure looks fine, whatever it is.
No, I know
he can't raise the money for it. That's all it is.
I know. But he designed that book. I mean, that's like, go back to that angel. Look, there's the shield, there's the shoulders, there's the chest piece. He's like, hey, look at my book. Couldn't my book be just a repainted figure of your pieces?
Oh, look at that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So the designs from Book of Enoch are just, let's take a look at this now, are just that. Yeah, they're Mythic Legions.
And that guy has bat wings, but they have a set of bat wings. If you go down to one of the angels, you'll see the parts I'm talking about.
On his campaign?
Yeah.
Okay, let me
look at one of his angels. And it's like, I mean, I just wouldn't go into things like that. Like, I just wouldn't think of that. Like, hey, my comic
thinks that way, though.
Let me draw a bunch of shit that these guys have that guy right there. Right.
This guy has angel wings, though. He has bird wings.
Yeah, I know. So does this guy. They're just colored different.
Oh, I see. Okay, hold on a second. Now let me go. I take this down and then look at you. Yeah. Okay. Did PTP design all these?
They're all like that. That's kind of my vibe I get on this. I mean, because I know these guys and I've seen a lot of the parts for their figures. And they basically just do a bunch of part swaps, for their whole entire line. And I just see the same parts being tossed around here on this, and it's like because they're like very iconic to what these guys produce. Like here's another Angel. Pull up my screen now. You'll see.
Okay. Let me see.
Here's another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, that shield almost looks like the same shield that
It looks
Patrick
exactly like what he did. Your Ashmatar says Masterson is the hare, Ethan is the frog, Shane is the tiger, John is the wolf, and Eric is the geoduck, pronounced gooey duck. Gooey duck. What's a gooey duck? Is that like a all right, so we got this, and then somebody actually thank you, Jonathan Teller, who actually did PTP sales chart, which is interesting, I guess. Pre-CG. We got Johnny Phantasm going up and up. This is PTP joining us, essentially, and getting a reputation. He went to MegaCon 21. This doesn't really mean anything. It's just his sales for MegaCon product on Indiegogo, which is bound to not be very good. Here we go. Johnny Phantasm 93 with a Shane Davis and a Dale Keown cover. Boom. He hits 6 figures for the first time. Okay, that's amazing. This here happened before he was in ComicsGate. So these are the results of ComicsGate. These got Sleepy Hollow. MegaCon 22 doesn't matter. His Transformers Indiegogo and Transformers Kickstarter. These should be stacked on top of each other here. We promoted his Transformers bullshit. And then Zorro. This is right at the time where he left ComicsGate here. This is post-CG. Look at this. This is what ends up happening. Ninja action figures. This is a nice spike here. It did not fund. He was looking for $100,000, and he only made $19,000. Then he tried to do it on Indiegogo. He did even worse. Tampa Comic Con, his earnings on Indiegogo from the product he sold at Tampa, and then here he is with Enoch. So it's dire. I mean, it's absolutely dire. You look at like the success of being with ComicsGate, being a part of us, and you can see like what it looks like. It looks like growth. You know what I mean? It looks like even the smaller campaigns are healthy. MegaCon 21, healthy, selling that gear. Sleepy Hollow, that book, not bad. Not bad for what that was. That was just eight drawings. Yeah, just drawings over the actual text, not a comic book. MegaCon 22 did actually the same business as MegaCon 21. And then Transformers, I don't know if that's the comic book or the actual toy, but it funded $100,000 in total, it looks like here.
Yeah, that was the toy, I think, with a mini comic. I think it was just a comic. It was a comic toy campaign. He had them both in the same.
Yeah, but I mean, look, this is like bad news. It's like he shouldn't have picked a fight with us. This is the end result. And for all the rise of the Dungeoneers bullshit that Lasman had to say, this is the result. This is what it actually looks like, the rise of the Dungeoneers. PTP would be the head of the Dungeoneers. And it ain't good, man. I kind of feel bad for him, but let's take a look at more of what Mandy Summers had to say. The artist also said, more details from Tampa. Mandy made $7,500, but she had to travel with 2 cars, her kids, her husband, and mom. She rented a house with a pool where they could all stay. I think I saw you there, Shane, for a live stream. Didn't want a hotel room with public pool because she wants privacy for her kids, not some of the Dungeoneers creeping on her daughter who looks just like her. Mandy's protective of her teenage daughter, young teenage daughter. She explained rainy drama. So Mandy was talking with Dale Keown for 4 months about music and stuff, and she was convinced it was a catfish. Yeah, like famous Dale Keown has time to answer her DMs. So I think probably like when Dale Keown was talking to me initially, like he was checking out what ComicsGate was doing, and he reached out to Mandy. So he was like talking to Mandy during that time too. And there you go. He liked her vibe, like he just kind of dug how Mandy presented herself and did business. Mandy didn't even believe she was actually talking to the real Dale Keown. Then one day she appeared on my live stream. She thought he was joking until he said, "Hi, Mandy." And that was cool. Like she realized that was the real Dale Keown that had been talking to her. Fast forward to Rainey's first live stream with Dale, meeting him and talking to him for the first time. Rainey grabbed her book and put it in front of the camera. Dale, won't you draw a cover for me? Ooh, woo. Disrespectful, cringe, like, look at me, I'm a girl, you should do my cover because you did Mandy's. Treating Dale like he's retarded. So this is Mandy's view of when she saw Rainey first interacting with Dale. I mean, I guess so. Like, there's that whole thing, like, people really kind of treat Dale like an overgrown child. I've noticed that around here. They see him as somebody to manipulate and possess, which is extremely disrespectful. What do you think of that, Shane?
I mean, I've seen it with Phil. I know I've seen it with, for sure, like Patrick. I mean, I don't know. You know what it is I've actually talked to Dale before because it becomes so problematic. You know, this was way before Mandy did the pit stuff. Back when Patrick was still, he left Ballers. I actually pulled Dale aside. I was like, Dale, you have to be more assertive for your shit. You know, you have to like kind of posture a little bit different because everybody takes advantage of you and you leave all this blank area with people to fill in the blank. So, you know, now I'm kind of defending people like Patrick, or if the case was with Rainey, or even like Phil. But, you know, Dale just gives people these ambiguous, not straight answers. You know, and he smiles and Dale just wants to hang out and stuff like that. But what Dale doesn't realize is everybody to the left and right of him is wanting to take advantage of it.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, it's like a bad situation in Dale's head. He's like, yeah, I was just being friendly. It's like, no. Now it's on tape and people are like, no, he said that right there. This isn't just like you saying that, you know, at a convention as you're passing by somebody. It's like, yeah, man, we got to work together one day. Like we used to say that to each other all the time in the industry. Every writer would say that, even if we hated each other. Yeah, man, we got to work together one day.
Of course, yeah.
But now here they're like, no, right there, peel back the tape, right there. He said we have to work together one day, and that means Mandy Summers has his dick pic because we're not working together one day. And it's the fucking craziest fucking thing I've ever seen.
That is so true. That is a great point, Shane. Like being social in comics with other creators is saying, yeah, we need to do something together. And then the other person goes, yeah, we should. That doesn't mean you're doing something. That just means we're cool. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we like each other. We're being nice to each other here. We're being respectful of one another. That's what that means.
That's Dale's nightmare here. Dale doesn't understand.
That's a commitment.
Like, no, you can't do that here. You can't do that here. I remember the first time I got to CG, I went on Clayton Barton's stream, and Rob Arnold was right there. I barely got on stream with him, barely got introduced to him. Maybe Michael Bancroft was there, and maybe I've been around here on stream for maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month. And right then, first time I've ever met Rob Arnold, will you do a cover for me? I don't even know the fucking guy. I've already
immediately take advantage.
Immediately, no, not take advantage, but put you in a public space to sandbag you. Will you do something or not? Nobody's asking me off air. Eric did the same thing to me the last time I went on that stream with Eric July. It's just what I don't know. It's just what it is. And people do that with Dale, and he's going to give the convention answer. Yeah, we should do something one day.
We should do something.
That's a contract, Dale Keown, and if Dale Keown doesn't do it, then he must be elder abuse, or he's being framed with dick pics, or it can't be that he doesn't want to do it. It can't be the simple thing.
Well, you can't just say, you don't say no. You just kind of like, actually I had this problem with Doug Ernst very early on in ComicsGate. Doug Ernst was like, we should do something. I'll draw, like, he's like, I got this zombie book, like, you should draw it. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. We should totally do that. Well, he took that to the bank. And I was like, I'm not fucking drawing. Like, I can't afford to do a zombie book for you. I was just being nice. Like, you don't say at that point, when somebody goes, we should do something together, you don't say, no, I can't. I won't do something with you. No, of course not. Like, why would I go from DC Comics to doing something with you? Who are you? Like, what would I get out of that? I have other plans. You don't do that. You just go, yeah, totally. Yeah, we should. That'd be fun. You're just being nice at that point. They don't read that here. They don't read that. That's part of comic book professional culture to just sort of, arbitrarily kind of handshake and say, that'd be great. We should. Now, ultimately, when it comes to doing projects at DC Comics or Marvel, like, it's not in your hands anyway. Sometimes it is. Like, if you talk to a writer and said, yeah, we should do something, the writer can sometimes have a project in mind, get it approved, and then say, I'd really like Shane Davis to be the artist. At which point it's up to DC to say, yeah, we want, or we have some for Shane already. There's no real control over it. But it's just polite to say, yes, I'm excited about maybe working with you. It's weird. It's schmoozing. You don't schmooze with regular people, says Yarash Mataro. Yeah, but regular people around here don't realize that they're regular people. I mean, Phil Diaz, like, I'm still, like, kind of, like, mystified by this. Like, the audacity of Phil Diaz thinking he was going to write the Pit book is just astonishing to me. The lack of self-awareness that he thought, like, it's infuriating. It is absolutely infuriating. It's like, it would be like one of these Star Wars YouTubers. It would be like Jeremy Griggs or one of these guys going to George Lucas, like, I'm going to make the prequel. You should let me write the prequel to the new Star Wars, whatever it is, or something. And George Lucas going, yeah, sure. And then Jeremy holding him to that. And then what we all get as Star Wars fans is like some fucking retarded piece of shit that a YouTuber came up with, rather than something that a consummate professional with a brain, would have come up with, like a creative person. So the idea that, like, Dale Keown might, even though he never was going to, okay, it's never going to happen. But let's just say that he was going to do Pit #1, the revival, Pit Rebirth, something like that. If that is going to be given to the world, can we get a good writer on it? If Dale isn't going to write it himself, we got to make sure that it's somebody who is going to write a good story. We can't give it to some fucking amateur retard, that like Phil Diaz. Like, no. Well, and to think that you're going to do that and ruin that for everybody is so infuriating. Fuck you.
Did you remember that part in the Elasmat thing where Von Coleman looks at the camera, brooding over his Daredevil comic collection? He says, well, that's what the mainstream does. He's a big artist, so it's, and Ethan says there needs to be new writers around here. So, that means that in the real mainstream, Dale Keown would get saddled up with some no-name writer that has no credentials whatsoever. And that's not how that happens at all.
At all.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. And this is in the Elasmat documentary, so this is the truth, guys. It's a conspiracy, and then we can't all feast on the flesh of Dale Keown for clout.
Dale Keown is gonna do a new Hulk book. Guess who's writing it? Peter David. If Peter David was still alive, you know what I mean?
A well-known writer, acclaimed writer. Okay, nobody was getting Dale off the bat like that.
No, it was just astonishing, and that caused problems because some entitled fucking nerd didn't realize his place in the pecking order. And I mean, that's what that is. It's just some fucking entitled greaseball who thought he had his mitts in Dale.
Now imagine what it's like being Dale. Okay, so Dale's just being polite, and he's seeing all this shit, and he's like, Dale. I've seen Dale talking to Dale about this. Dale thinks it's funny.
Dale thinks it's funny.
He's not a bad guy for thinking it's funny, because what else? How else would you process this shit? Now put yourself in Dale's, his shoes. He just steps into this ComicsGate sphere. He's been watching it from the outside, and he's just looking to hang out. He's pretty much drawn most of the comics he's ever going to draw. He's just going to draw what the fuck he wants, and hang out and chill and have a laugh and just have a good radio. That's all Dale really wants. He just wants to have fun on stream. And so then you talk to Dale about this. He's like, yeah, man, these guys are crazy. It's like, Dale, no, these guys are like destroying themselves. It's not funny, Dale. Oh, it's not? No, it's not funny. Dale. It's he's like, no, wait, it's not funny. It's like it's kind of funny.
Well, how come
Dale,
I'm laughing?
They didn't understand. It's like Dale's expecting them to somehow self-regulate their expectations of life and reality of him ever drawing a fucking book for him. It's like, no, Dale, they can't do that.
Yeah.
They can't do it.
That is ridiculous. All right, so all right, let's look at some more of this. What happened with Mandy Summers to the Dirt stream, where she took it down, but she kind of revealed a bunch of shit, and then she took it down. But our D artist was there; she took notes, so she gave me the notes of what was said on the stream. PTP was shit talking Rini to Mandy, and vice versa, obviously. And the moment J Bomba added Mandy to the dinner room, PTP shouted, "All hail Rini, the queen of CG," something like that, to make Mandy feel uncomfortable or bow to Rini. So
that's all true. That's all true. Even the shout out in the room as soon as she got added. It's all true.
Yeah. Mandy is the queen of CG right now, I think.
I thought it was Cecil.
It was Cecil before, but he is I don't know where he is. I fucking don't know what Cecil's doing. I wish Cecil was back here. But yeah, like that is like a deliberate, like, no, it's Rini. It's not going to be. I don't know what PTP's problem with Mandy is. Where did it originate? Do we know?
Okay, so I was there. I was there when the problem first reared its head. So Mandy stepped away from YouTube for about 2 weeks or something like that. And, Patrick was concerned, where's, when is she coming back? What do we tell people? Blah, blah, blah. And then eventually, Mandy came back after 2 weeks. And Patrick was like, he said to me, he's like, she's going to make a shit ton of super chats and her campaign's going to hit 6 figures. And I'm like, yes, it is going to hit 6 figures because she's at $90-some thousand. She could just say, I'm pulling this down, and it would still hit 6 figures. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, I guess you're right. So the stream happens. The stream happens. Mandy gets tons of super chats. The campaign hits 6 figures that night. Mm-hmm. And Patrick's mad as soon as it's over. Like, now, here's what's fucked up about this. Patrick had just gotten 6 figures on Johnny Phantasm for his roof blowing off.
Yeah.
So
like, why is he angry?
But to me, that's when he really took issue with Mandy, is when Jump Shock hit 6 figures. Like the moment, I'm talking like the day after that stream, the dude was like irate, and
that's so weird.
Yeah, and I couldn't process it at the time, and I kind of gave him one of these cold shoulders, I'm done talking about this type thing, because it's like, I'm not, however your head's processing this, my brain's not getting infected with this bullshit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, so what you're telling me is it's okay for you to make 6 figures, but not her campaign that's sitting right at 90-some thousand, 92 or 97. It was like, it's only a few $1,000s. It's like, it wasn't like, it shot from 50 to 100, and he had just done it himself. So it's like, where's the resentment coming from? Especially if you're like a co-host on this show, like why would in this show you hit 6 figures on this show? It was really weird. And that's when I kind of was like, Patrick's not all there, or he's a type of Judas type guy or something. I don't know. I couldn't, I kind of, everybody has like a category of people that you come across in life, and you start slotting people into categories. That's when I said, Patrick's the Judas.
Wow.
Like, this guy's going to be resentful. He's going to sell people out. And later Patrick would be like, oh, I'm in the Friday Night Tights room, which I never believed. He's like, he would say weird shit like, oh, I'm in the Friday Night Tights room, and they dropped a link in there. And I'm like, really? Why don't you go on? He's like, well, they say birds of a feather flock together and stuff like that. I'm like, you're still not telling me why you're not going on. Yeah.
The Friday Night Tights room, there was a new one every week. So there's no Friday Night Tights room that's consistent. It's like there's a new one every episode. I know, because I was in it twice or so.
Yeah.
So he was lying. Wow, D Artist gifted 10 memberships. Holy shit, that is absolutely amazing. Yay, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, the artist. Yeah, that's the first super chat that we've gotten in 3 hours. Like, wow. There are no super chats coming in at all. That's weird. Kiwi kangaroo in Asia. Shane, where in SG does your SIL live? What does that mean? Is this a troll?
Wait, Shane, where in?
What is SG?
Hmm.
Yeah. Does your SIL son-in-law? Oh, the son-in-law, sister-in-law, sister-in-law. Oh, SG would be
we're in Singapore.
Singapore. Okay.
Yeah, Singapore. Where does she live? None of your business.
Why would you ask that?
Yeah, what do you want? It's like,
why would you ask that question? That's none of your business. That's funny.
Like, I'm not gonna try to set you up with my sister-in-law.
Yeah, I know. It's like I'm gonna go find her. That's some crazy shit. All right. So anyway, the other thing is, I hope Katie did clip the whole stream. Blah blah blah. Mandy is a wonderful storyteller. D said. Mandy privated it. Okay. PTP told Mandy at Tampa that Rini and Allie were scissoring. He did this. He went, they're, Rini and Allie are, like they're, you know what scissoring is, Shane?
Yeah.
There's so PTP.
I think if they position themselves just right, it can get like a suction, like if you stuck two plungers together.
Oh, that's crazy. So apparently PTP, hold on a second, dye your eyebrows jet black, just get it over with, says JD Kirby. I will not do that. Shame on you. So PTP started the rumor that that they're lesbians, because I heard that rumor. I heard Allie is in love with Rini, and boy, it sure looked like it. It sure looked like Allie had like a little bit of a girly crush on Rini. And then people said, no, Allie's married, she's straight. I don't know, man. Maybe she ain't that straight. I'm not sure. But anyway, that is in my head because of PTP. PTP is the one who started that rumor. He was trying to make Mandy hate Rini. Was it because Mandy shouldn't be on CG Kings? Because she hasn't worked for Marvel or DC? Like it was Rini's opinion, not his own jealousy. So he was saying, Rini thinks that you didn't work for Marvel or DC, so you shouldn't. By the way, jealousy and envy around status on ComicsGate Kings. PTP is his own kind of king. Fuck king crazy when it comes to ComicsGate Kings and who's on it and who isn't and why isn't he on it? Why is this person on it? It is insane. So he's sitting there trying to create resentment from Mandy towards Rini. Like Rini's saying, you don't belong here on Kings. After Tampa
being this talentless and this power mad. Like being power mad usually in any type of industry, like you got to have some talent, right? Like you got to what are you gonna do? I just want power. I'm retarded. I know I draw retarded, but I want power in comics.
Yeah, evidently, like there is some of that going on. Like PTP's just like, wait a second, I'm so amazing. Like everybody should be supportive of me. By the way, I wasn't sharing the wrong screen. I just had that on as a placeholder illustration. That was perfectly fine for a stream. Look at this. Craig 69 says this stream has definitely leveled up with the arrival of Shane. Hail, brother. Everybody loves Shane.
They do until they don't.
Well, that's true of everything, isn't it? By the way, Cyberfrog, Heather Swain, Trapped Print. Looks like we have 13 left. We've sold a few. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Go over and get yours. We will be announcing the next 3 prints this weekend. This might be the weekend where we do 2 10 prints. I'm warning people now, if you're on my Subscribe Star, heads up, Saturday and Sunday, we will be, it's going to be this weekend. We're going to release 2 sets of 10 prints, limited to 10. That is going to be crazy, crazy, crazy rare. And by the way, if somebody buys all 10 of them at once, I'm going to laugh so hard. Nobody better do that. Do not do that. Be nice. So we will have, we'll have a set of 10 prints, 2 of them. And then there will be 250s, and the 250s are Matt Martin artwork. and then there will be 125 prints. So everything's going to be rare this weekend. Heads up. But in the meantime, these are last week's prints. We've still got 13 of Heather Swain. And then this is Mandible Smashers, limited to 50. I don't know if we sold any of those during this thing. No, not really. This isn't pinned to the chat. But Mandible Smashers with Cyberfrog and Shockroach and, Dystopia, Rumblebee, and Device dressed like Spite. Obviously a tribute to John Malin, the great John Malin, who I have tremendous respect for as an artist and a man. You know what I mean? I do. I like John Malin a lot. All right, back to the Mandy Summers PTP notes. After Tampa, PTP told Dale that Mandy assaulted Shane in her bathtub while he was passed out drunk. Shane, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I've heard this, but not from Dale. But Dale, there was something going on where Dale was kind of acting funny after Tampa. And I think Dale did come out and say Patrick was telling him some shit, like afterwards. I don't know what was said. I can't confirm or deny.
Is he just making shit up like whole cloth? Like saying Rini and Allie are lesbians is just shit talking. Like maybe it's true, we don't know. But like saying that you passed out drunk in Mandy's bathtub and she sexually assaulted you is insane. That's an insane allegation.
So I have one quick story that explains the way Patrick shit talks. Okay, so I arrived, the dinner with the photo that everybody got erased out of. Okay,
yeah.
So I arrived there first, but I don't know the reservation because it's in Cecil's real name. I don't know, so. Anyways, I'm there first with Terry and Yanzi. Now, there's a lot of glass and a high ceiling and a lot of ambient noise being produced, and Terry's not having it. So I'm like, all right, let me just take Yanzi and Terry back. I don't want my kid crying in this nice dinner restaurant thing for everybody. So me and Yanzi are like, we got to go. And right as we're going out the door, here comes everybody. And I'm like, I'll be back. Or I say something like that. And I'm like, just trying to get my crying kid out, to the car, take him back to the room. I come back. So I come back, I eat, I'm in the photo, all that. So next day, I walk up to Patrick, and I'm gonna have a talk with Patrick because his shit talking so much. Okay, it's pretty bad. And I go up to him, I'm like, I gotta talk to you. He's like, what's going on? He's setting up his table. I'm like, you got to stop the shit talking. And he's like, well, he pauses. He goes, well, I just did it, but then you came back, so it didn't matter. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I shit. He basically confessed that he had shit talked me. The time he basically shit talked me because I was taking my kid home.
In between that time period, he thought that's what you were referring to.
Yeah, that he was shit talk. He told on himself that that's how quick he will take any situation and shit talk you. Like I'm like I was taking my kid out of a restaurant crying to then not ruin the night for everybody, and you took that as an opportunity to shit talk me to everybody here.
And you just meant in general. You were like, you gotta stop shit talking in general.
Yeah.
It was like at that moment.
And so the reality of Patrick shit talking, he could take anything and shit talk.
He's compulsive.
Yeah. So so did he say these things? Probably.
I believe it. I believe Mandy. I don't think Mandy makes that up. By the way, Craig, where's my salute music for the super chat program? I forgot. Thank you for the $20. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's get back to this. More on this. So, you were assaulted. Now, that's why Dale was so heartbroken and worried on the first CG Live or CG Kings after that. She explained, Dale is not stupid. He knows that she is married, but he would most likely expect her to have an adventure with him if she was whoring around. She's not. So of course he wasn't able to hide his disappointment, and he believed PTP's lies. Okay, so what does that mean? That means Dale Keown was maybe hoping that maybe there could be a little something between him and Mandy
Well, I
there.
guess if like she's married, but if she's cheating, why is it she cheating with him?
With him instead of you.
I guess, yeah. Oddly enough, her whole family was there, and I met her husband, and her husband was there the entire time of that stream. But that's not what you guys, that's not the lie that sticks. The lie that sticks is and it's kind of funny, I guess, if that grown men are saying this, that I passed out in a hot tub and Mandy Summers took advantage of me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's like I wish my life was that interesting. I guess I don't. That I'm being sexually assaulted by women.
What a
that's
crazy allegation!
Yeah, but that's like something I would joke about on stream, like when I dress up as Mange. That's some shit I would say.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea that like women do that to men, I mean, not really. That just doesn't really happen. PTP, really strange allegation. But that does kind of make sense because, people think that Dale, and Mandy have something going on. There is that going on all the time, like that discussion. And the truth of the matter is that, maybe Dale would, according to Mandy, maybe Dale would want that to be the case. I mean, if Mandy were up for it, then that would definitely be okay with Dale.
According to this logic, if a cop pulls Patrick to give him a speeding ticket, that Mandy has dick pics of that cop. Like, you see, it's just like,
yeah,
it's like, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. I mean, I have my own kind of experience with that makes a lot of things kind of come into question. That made me walk into the trap that those guys set for me, PTP and Phil Diaz, because I have some confusing sort of story about Mandy and Kyle Ritter. But it's like that. I've explained it as best as I can, but like I don't have full information about that at all. I think there were people who were trying to make me think that I needed to do something about that legally, like HR kind of responsibility towards that. And I realized that I don't have to do shit. It has nothing to do with me.
That's a retarded take, and it's just somebody trying to box you into some shit you don't need to get involved with.
Yeah, I mean, it was really stupid. Like, they're sitting me down and being like, we think that, Mandy is sexually blackmailing Dale. And it's like, well, what evidence do you have of this? You know what I mean? Like, what exactly? All right. So anyway, but I mean, yeah, I think Dale has a little bit of a crush on Mandy, which she's allowed to have. And Mandy's fully aware of that. She had no idea PTP was spreading rumors just to split them apart, turn Dale against Shane, and make him despise Mandy. Imagine this. This is the Ballers show. Dale told her about this months later when she returned to YouTube. She was bullied off the internet after Tampa. I remember that. I can't recall what expression she used for John Malin. It was funny, like ogre on the outside or something like that. But she said really nice things about the three of you. Shane was listening, but he wasn't in the chat, I guess, because he replied to my DM. So Shane, you actually heard this or no?
No, I didn't hear this.
Okay. You didn't hear Mandy's stream?
No. That's why the things I'm confirming I've heard before, like not from this stream.
Yeah.
Like I'm either attesting to it, I've either seen it, heard it from Dale, or I've heard it from Patrick.
Yeah.
Like I did not watch this stream.
Okay, well I missed it too. I wish I had seen it. That would have been great. But yeah, I guess it's not available. But anyway, that's what Mandy had to say on her dirt stream regarding PTP. It really brings things into focus. Yeah, the Lazmat documentary did too. That was a lot of fun to see that and just go through it. Anyway, I don't know. I think I'm going to start drawing, Shane. It is 6 a.m. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Is there anything you want to promote?
No, I'm done with my campaign. We're done. So
isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is amazing. It feels a big pressure off my chest. One of the top funded books when I add the 2 campaigns up of 9 Lives Comics and Glorious Rex 3. So I'm wrapping up the last 4 pages of it. I'm working on one this whole stream. So yeah, I can't believe I'm getting ready to wrap this book up because it's been the hardest book I've ever drawn. Is this one issue? I actually think 4 will be a lot easier than 3. It's just 3. I really got kind of hung up on some things in it. So
yeah,
how it goes. How it goes.
That is how it goes.
It is. It is. But thanks for having me on. And
Ballers tonight.
Yep, tonight at 11. Obviously, 11 o'clock tonight, and we'll be balling with Dale and maybe reminiscing about Patrick. I don't know.
Yeah, it should be fun. All right, thanks everybody. We will see you. I'm gonna go right over there. I'm gonna start a draw stream, but I gotta take Ava to school at 7:30. So I'll it's gonna be kind of an uneven morning, but I gotta start drawing. Are you doing a draw stream this morning, EVS? I'm going right over there to start now. I can't wait to start drawing. I feel pretty good. I feel like it. So I will see you in just a few minutes. Shane, amazing. Together we make magic. The kind of magic that becomes ComicsGate and internet legends. And I don't know what I would do without you, my friend. Just want to say thanks. And I'll see all of you in a few minutes. Bye, Shane.